69. Bradley over Illinois State. And Missouri State hammered Loyola 70-35. The news a service of Peloton, live studio classes in the comfort of your own home. Whether it's a monthly challenge to meet your goals, a training program for your next race, or setting a new personal best, the Peloton bike will make you want to show up and keep climbing the live leaderboard year-round. Learn more about the Peloton bike at onepeloton.com or visit your local showroom. 5:08 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Winter stinks. Snow, ice, freezing temperatures, more snow. Escape Chicago and join Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. You'll stay at the Marvel Residences Luxury Resort in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. It's a beautiful, all-inclusive resort located between Rainforest Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. Don't wait to book your Passport to Paradise trip with AM 560 and Apple Vacations. Visit 560theanswer.com/passport. That's 560theanswer.com/passport.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and you'll have to wait until spring to get the outside of your house painted, but winter, perfect opportunity to get your interior painted. You know, people walk into my kitchen and ask, Amy, did you get new cabinets? No, I save myself thousands of dollars by simply having them painted by the experts at CertaPro Painters. So cross the first project off your 2019 to-do list. CertaPro Painters will ensure a beautiful transformation of your home. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered. In-home with a color consultation or online with their color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Another year and you still haven't done anything about your company's network and computer system. Will your employees struggle to get by on a dated system with no IT personnel to fix it quickly? Or maybe you're thinking everything's running perfectly and it'll be fine. Until it isn't. Whether you've experienced technical trouble or not, when you do, it costs your company money. And it doesn't have to. Don't wait for a crisis. Make 2019 the year you're prepared for anything technology throws at you with Turnkey IT. Turnkey IT helps set you up for success and gets in front of the many technical issues that can overwhelm a business. They specialize in the preventative steps to keep you going. Have Turnkey do a complimentary network audit of your systems, even if you have a current IT company, so you know exactly where you stand in the ever-evolving technology world. A second opinion never hurts. And for a limited time, get free lunch for the decision makers of your company, courtesy of Turnkey.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros, so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
If you're traveling for work, make your next stop La Quinta by Wyndham. Their spacious rooms and free high-speed internet makes it easy to work, while their comfortable beds and bright-side breakfasts make it easy to relax. Win at business wherever you go. Book at lq.com.
5:11. Let's get an update on the roads this morning in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
On Chicago's north side, Roscoe Village neighborhood, there's a crash on Addison at Wolcott. Downtown Chicago, Kennedy inbound, the exit to the outbound Eisenhower has reopened after overnight construction. The outbound Kennedy ramp to Canfield is reopened as well. No delays to report right now at Kennedy. The Edens is fine. Same goes for the Eisenhower, the Stevenson. Ryan has outbound roadwork again this morning, 87th to the split. Not seeing any significant delays on I-57, the Bishop Ford Freeway. Roads are in much better shape today than they were yesterday. There is morning construction once again on the Veterans Memorial Tollway in both directions. Army Trail and Butterfield, right lane. No delays or issues to report on I-80 or in northwest Indiana. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte.
On AM 560, The Answer.
And we're following developments on the south side of Chicago. We told you earlier in our newscast about a SWAT team standoff on South Bishop in the 6600 block. We understand, according to Chicago police, that there has been a peaceful resolution to that situation. We'll keep our eyes on that, as will Jim Talamonte. Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. And our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Colder today, mostly cloudy with a high only 20. Partly cloudy, breezy, very cold tonight, low -5. Cloudy, cold day tomorrow with a high at 6 above. Intervals of clouds and sun on Saturday with a high near 13. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
11 O'Hare, 17 Lakefront, 13 Midway, 4 in Aurora. And your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by CharlesEquipment.com, keeping you powered up no matter what the conditions.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. State of the Union postponed. Trump accepted Pelosi's offer that she then said was not on the table. And after considering alternate venues, said he's going to postpone the State of the Union address until after the partial government shutdown is resolved. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Is Trump on the cusp of his Bruce Rauner, I'm not in charge, I'm trying to get to be in charge moment of political self-immolation?
Great question, because clearly she won this battle. I mean, he could have taken the speech elsewhere. He could have had a rally type, atmosphere to deliver his speech, but he's chosen not to. I'm shocked. I thought we were going to go to maybe a border town or somewhere, or maybe to Michigan, remember, because they offered him
North Carolina offered him
House
too.
State floor there, yeah.
Trump tweeting, I'm not looking for an alternative venue for the SOTU address because there is no venue that can compete with the history, tradition, and importance of the House chamber. He said he's looking forward to delivering a great address in the near future. There is no venue that can compete with the history, tradition, and importance of the House chamber. In some sense, yeah, okay. But in another sense, well, that's not the kind of president you are. That's not really playing to your strength, is it? It would seem to me that this is an opportune time for Trump to double down on being Trump. And I mean the good Trump in the political sense of the populist candidate who engendered this revolt against the political ruling class in D.C. that carried him all the way to the Oval Office. Isn't that how he got here? See, it seems to me that, yes, the State of the Union address is to be delivered to Congress in oral or written form, but the audience isn't the politicians.
It's us.
It's 330 million Americans. So why be bound by a tradition that, frankly, doesn't play to your strength as president? In fact, this is seems to me a great opportunity for a jiu-jitsu move. Now, I can understand, even though this is a little bit of this is also on him, saying, all right, she's digging in, so we don't have the time to work out the logistics to do something on Tuesday night somewhere else in Detroit or at the border or wherever. But that's not what he said. He said until the impasse is over, till the partial shutdown is done. So that's sort of conceding the possibility. No, it's not sort of. It is conceding the possibility of doing something out in the hustings where the rest of America lives, outside, what did Cal Thomas call D.C., 40 square miles?
Word from our program director that we're not going to be having it and that we're figuring out how to handle refunds and that more information will be coming.
Yeah, so you'll get refunded. And
you get your money back.
No SOTU, no taste of freedom. That's just how it works. I mean, just be on an individual basis.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss that opportunity for you, the listener. Bill on the north suburbs here on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys?
Good.
Hey, what do you think of Trump renting out the Alamo and wearing a Davy Crockett hat?
Yeah, that may be a little bit more unconventional than I'm looking for, but okay. All right, thanks, Bill. But at least he's thinking unconventionally, like you would expect a Trump revolutionary to think. Jordan in Forest Park.
Yeah, good morning. Hey, I think Schumer and Pelosi have found the pathway for a Democratic president in the next election, and that is to make sure there's nothing done on the wall. Just like Ann Coulter has said in her column today, if you don't have a wall, or at least whatever, start it, your base isn't coming out. And so that's the pathway for them, and they're not going to relent on that, and he's not going to get reelected as a result. I think that's as simple as that. But he might end up compromising like a Rauner move, and it's going to backfire.
Well, what's the compromise? Yeah, thanks for the call, Jordan. I mean, Rauner didn't compromise; he surrendered.
Right.
There's a difference. A compromise has been proposed. It was proposed by President Trump over the weekend.
Yeah, the Senate's going to vote on it today,
Well,
and it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, that's
But I'm
legislative
saying
theater. Yeah,
that is
right.
a compromise.
Right.
But this is a bad sign. I think that he gave in to Nancy Pelosi, because that makes me think he might give in to Nancy Pelosi on something else, like border wall funding, or isn't he? I mean, what do you think?
Well, I just don't.
These separate issues.
I just don't understand why you don't play to your strength and say to Nancy Pelosi, well, fine. The audience is the American people. I'll send you a transcript so you can file that according to the Constitution.
You could read along at home. Yeah.
But I'm going to go to the border, or I'm going to go to Middle America, and we're going to talk about the full range of topics, including the partial shutdown. And I'm going to explain why this is so important. And I'm going to explain that I'm not beholden to daily polls. If you want somebody who just sticks their finger in the wind and goes with wherever the D.C. press corps is pushing 50% plus one of the populace on any day, then I'm not that guy. I'm a guy who said this is important, that border security is a core deliverable for me. And I'm going to go to the mat on this because it's that important. And here's why it's important. And despite the specious arguments that are being offered by the left, here's what Obama's former Customs and Border Protection chief said about a border barrier. Here's where Republicans are at. Here's the actual comprehensive, holistic plan for border security. Here's my position on legal immigration, reminding people of the compromise that he proposed, reminding people that immigrants who come here to work raise our living standards and are a benefit to America. But those who come here illegally and do harm to others and then are released back into the population because of the system that we have and court precedents that complicate the federal government's role in providing for the physical security of its constituents, we have got to change these things, systemic change, in a methodical fashion, and it starts with border security. And then in addition to that, talk about where we are with Chinese trade deal, talk about where we are with the resurgence of manufacturing in the 2 years of my presidency, and the rest of the issues that you would normally cover as a president of the United States in a speech like the State of the Union. Why does it have to be against the backdrop of the House chamber? That's where the political class resides, tradition notwithstanding. I just think this is a huge missed opportunity for the president.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. Leslie, I like to think that we're always finishing the drive to the end zone and not just blocking and tackling for our clients. We want them to be ready for the big game, their retirement.
That's right, Craig. That's why our whole team at Wealth Management Group has their game face on and is ready.
Make a tactical maneuver to make Wealth Management Group part of your financial force.
Pick Wealth Management Group as your offensive line. Visit us at investwithwmg.com and listen to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
As one of my New Year's resolutions to get financially fit, I'm attending Online Trading Academy in Lombard. And during my class last Friday morning, a WIND listener came up to me and said, does this really work? How does the process work? Did you really meet Dr. Howard? And yes, it does work. The testimonials are true. And I did meet Dr. Howard. He did show me the emails. I listened to voicemails. Comments he gets every single day from real people who are living healthier lives because they've been taking Balance of Nature. Look, we're all busy, and very few of you are eating enough fruits and vegetables in your diet, and that's where Balance of Nature comes in. Real fruits and veggies in a capsule. They pick it at the peak of freshness, then they flash dry the products and ground it into a powder, put it into a capsule, no preservatives. It's easy to digest, and within a matter of days, you will start getting healthier with Balance of Nature. Here's what you do, folks. Go to balanceofnature.com, type Chicago in the promo code for 35% off your order, or call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Balance of Nature, promo code Chicago.
Attention maintenance coordinators. Fans are a vital part of your business's building or factory. You've got to keep the air moving. But when they break down or need service, who can you call? Vans Industrial repair all types of fans, from small wall fans to large air movers.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Fan repair is one of many services that Vans offers. If you have a fan with a damaged shaft, bearing, impeller, or housing, we can help. And if you need a new fan, we handle all major brands and can provide engineering assistance to properly size your new fan. Our crews can respond to your emergencies or routine maintenance and will have your fan back up and running fast. And when we're done repairing your fan, we can also dynamically balance it so it runs smooth for years to come.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND to get your fan repaired today. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
When weather hits, the right wiper blades make all the difference. That's when the Michelin Man is on your side, helping you see better and drive safer with new Michelin Premium Wiper Blades. Designed with exclusive SmartFlex technology or frameless beam design, Michelin blades flex to the curve of your windshield, giving you unparalleled, streak-free, long-lasting, all-season performance. So when the going gets tough, be ready with Michelin Premium Wiper Blades. It's a difference you can see. Available at Walmart, Pep Boys, Amazon, and other fine retailers.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Quoting the words of Thomas Sowell, socialism in general has a record of failure so blatant that only an intellectual could ignore or evade it.
Manufacturing companies, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. Automated Systems is a software and systems integration company that specializes in companies that are required to meet FDA compliance requirements. Automated Systems will create a custom solution for your business that will make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. From Fortune 500 to startup, ASI delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit hireasi.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI, 844-HIRE-ASI, or online at hireasi.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy are talking about the postponement of the State of the Union address until after the partial government shutdown is resolved. Tweet from Kevin Rooney, bit surprised by this move, but so too, without Dems in attendance to embarrass themselves, it's just another speech. I expect he thinks Trump must have something up his sleeve. I'm not so sure about that. First of all, I disagree. It's just another speech without Dems there. Oh, you need people standing up and not standing up, and the pointless discussion about political whack-a-mole. I think there are bigger opportunities and challenges to address at present.
But I like seeing the Supreme Court justices and finding out which ones are awake and which ones are sleeping.
Yeah.
Sleepy.
As I said, I think there are bigger opportunities and challenges at present. Trump addressed Pelosi's So Too shutdown.
Well, we were planning on doing a really very important speech in front of the House and the Senate, the Supreme Court, and everybody else that's there. It's called the State of the Union. It's in the Constitution. We're supposed to be doing it, and now Nancy Pelosi, or Nancy as I call her, she doesn't want to hear the truth, and she doesn't want to hear, more importantly, the American people hear the truth. So we just found out that she's canceled it, and I think that's a great blotch on the incredible country that we all love. It's a great, great, horrible mark.
And I think it's a great win for, not a great win, but it is a win for Nancy Pelosi.
Let's work together on a mutually agreeable date when we can welcome you to the Capitol to deliver the State of the Union address.
Yeah, I don't know that it's a win, and I don't even know these wins and losses. That's how the lobotomized political punditry talk on these cable news shows. The point is that, yes, is there pettiness going on back and forth? Is Pelosi being petty? Yeah. It's not about win-loss. It's about missed opportunity.
Well, was Trump being petty when he yanked her military plane for her excursion to Egypt?
Yeah, it's point counterpoint. Oh, politics is petty. Who knew? Oh, boy, what a shock. The issue is missed opportunity. Huge opportunity that's consistent with Trump's brand beyond his base, frankly, particularly because he has this comprehensive compromise that he presented over the weekend that he should be presenting and representing, reinforcing, like in a huge seminal speech that would get a lot of attention because it's at a venue other than inside the Beltway, other than the House chamber. I mean, that's the issue. It's not about, Pelosi, Trump, point, counterpoint, press bite, counter press point. Randy and Sandwich here on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right. I disagree. I don't think Nancy won the day here. I think this is completely him making her own this and making her look like the fool, making her be the one that's shutting it down. And you wait, just like he always does. He's got another trick up his sleeve, and we're going to see that here in the next week. And to be honest, I have to agree with the person you just referred to, that this isn't really that big of a speech. It's a puppet show. You get up there, you say a couple things, everybody stands up or sits down or crosses their arms and has a dumb look on their face. But honestly, it become
right.
Go ahead.
But you're making my point for me. It is normally a puppet show. It is normally a forgettable speech. This is an opportunity because of what Pelosi has done to make it memorable. How memorable would it be if it was given at the border or in middle America at a manufacturing facility? It's a completely different thing. It's an opportunity. It's not so much that if he doesn't give it on January 29th in the House chamber that, his administration is coming to an end. I just think
if I can
go ahead.
If I can respond to that, if you answer this question for me, then which is going to have more? Because this has got to be his position in his mind right now. Which is going to have more of an effect, making her look like a fool for shutting it down for the first time in 100 and however many years, or him going to the border and having kind of a semi-rally with not really the same effect that you just went and did this speech somewhere else? I think in his position, make her be the person who's going to have to shut this down for the first time in 100 and some odd years because she is stonewalling because she doesn't want to come to the table and negotiate in good faith. That's just my opinion.
Thanks for the call, Randy. I appreciate that. I get what you're saying, but let me just suggest this. The response to cowardice, pettiness, should be to transcend it, particularly, say, if you're the President of the United States. So the Democrats don't want to lead. They don't want to legislate. They don't want to compromise. It's an opportunity for the president to double down on the leadership that he is trying to provide on this border security issue, including through the compromise that he offered over the weekend. I think it's an opportunity to enhance his standing beyond his base. And I'm not necessarily talking about a rally-like atmosphere. I'm just talking about the quality and the substance of the speech and the optics of locating it out in the real world where 99.9% of the 330 million Americans live.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The State of the Union is not the only thing that's postponed, so is Cohen's testimony.
And why he's doing it and who's going to get him a pea hat. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
12 degrees, day 34 of the partial government shutdown. We'll see the Senate vote on the president's compromise proposal to end the stalemate. The president's proposal would fund the government affected by the shutdown through September and has nearly $6 billion in it for border wall funding. He's also promised to veto any bill that does not include that funding. The president says he'll give his State of the Union address when the government shutdown is over. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi canceled last week's scheduled speech. She believes it should not happen until the government is again fully funded. Majority Leader Steny Hoyer again urging the president late last night to reopen the government.
We want the government open. The American people want the government open. The American people know that this is an irrational, wrong policy to be pursuing of shutting down our government.
Meantime, unions representing air traffic controllers, pilots, and flight attendants warn the shutdown may be threatening air safety. At least 5 are dead after a hostage situation at a Florida bank.
After an assessment of the scene, we're sorry to learn that we have at least 5 victims, people who were senselessly murdered as a result of his act in this bank.
21-year-old Zephan Zaver entered the SunTrust Bank in Sebring, Florida yesterday and began shooting. Security expert says over 24 million mortgage and bank loan documents have been leaked online. The documents reportedly found online after a server security lapse. One of the nation's largest media companies is laying off people across the nation. Gannett has not made an official announcement of how many jobs it is slashing. Meantime, BuzzFeed will be cutting its staff by nearly 15%. In a memo to employees, the CEO of the embattled media outlet, Jonah Peretti, explained layoffs would happen next week. Dangerous cold set to hit Chicago tonight. The National Weather Service said frigid temps are expected, wind chills as low as 30 below in some areas. SWAT teams are cleaning up after a standoff on Chicago's south side. 2 people robbed a woman at gunpoint last night in the 800 block of West Fletcher and then took off. Their van was spotted near Belmont and Lakeshore, and it was followed by police until it crashed in the 6600 block of South Bishop. For a time, the suspects ran into a nearby building and refused to come out. The suspected gunman in the deadly Orland Park Mall shooting is in custody. Police say Jakar Williams was arrested last night without incident in South suburban Madison. Illinois' new governor is now overseeing another death from Legionnaire's disease. Governor Pritzker's office yesterday saying the person who was confirmed to be sick with Legionnaire's has passed away. The veteran is the 14th person to die from Legionnaire's at an Illinois veterans home since 2015. Hawks over the Bulls at the UC 121-101. College hoops. DePaul lost to number 11 Marquette. In the Valley, Missouri State hammered Loyola. 5:36 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher is concerned with the new Congress.
Socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez announced that she will join Maxine Waters on the very influential House Financial Services Committee. A self-described socialist is going to be on the committee which oversees Wall Street. You know how President Trump is called a disruptor? Wait till you see how the Democrats try to disrupt.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Hey everyone, Carrie here. For years, you've heard my husband, Ken,
Hello, Radioland.
explain how Income Store is the place for your next revenue stream. Not to date ourselves, but Ken and I have been helping individuals and businesses grow their revenue since before the internet was even a thing. We've heard countless stories as to why people look to increase their revenue.
Some stories make us laugh, some make us cry.
These stories, combined with our own, have motivated Ken and I to dedicate our lives to help people, as Ken says, who need a revenue shot in the backside.
Whether you want to just learn how or simply put, you need to generate revenue today. Our mission is to serve both.
Our worldwide staff of over 150 help to create amazing resources, our most famous being the iTunes podcast.
Today's growth. You got to check out episode 383. It's truly amazing.
And both Inc. and Forbes have shared that when it comes to generating revenue, Income Store is a can't miss. To grow your revenue today, check out IncomeStore.com.
That's IncomeStore.com.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
538. Check of the roads now in the AM 560 traffic center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
On Lakeshore Drive at Roosevelt, we have a report of a hit-and-run crash. We'll have plenty of room for responders in that area. North side, there's a crash on Addison at Wolcott. The expressway's traffic's building for the morning rush. No delays yet on the 8th. Kennedy is fine. Overnight work has cleared. Eisenhower has no problems to report. Mount Stevenson, tight central to Pulaski, looking at about a 2 or 3 minute delay. And on Ryan, it's slow from before Roosevelt to Burns Circle. 17 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound 15, there is road work 87th to Split. I-57's okay. Bishop Ford, a 2 or 3 minute delay. Cottage Grove to the merge. No delays to report on the tollways or in northwest Indiana. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 hour heating and air conditioning weather center, cloudy, colder, 20 today. The beginning of the polar vortex, extreme cold overnight. Dangerous late, low 5 below. Currently 11. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, it's that time of year again. It's cold. There's going to be snow. We're going to be in the single digits in the next few days. But guess what? It's warm and sunny in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. That's where we'll be heading with Apple Vacations, and you are invited to come along with us April 6th through April 13th. And Pelosi's not canceling this bad boy. Oh, no.
Yeah.
We'll be staying at Marival Residences Luxury Resort in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. It's an all-inclusive resort, 10 minutes from the airport. It has 6 gourmet restaurants, 2 bars, unlimited premium drinks, 24-hour room service. You know the deal. But this beautiful all-inclusive resort is situated between the Rainforest Mountains and the Pacific Ocean, and it is simply gorgeous. Check it out yourself online. The rooms are huge. Every room has a living room, a dining room, a kitchen. I don't know if you know what a kitchen is, but that's where people cook.
Yeah.
And then you have your bedroom. Every year this trip gets better and better, and we have couples that return every single year to vacation with us. So join us this year if you're a newbie or a returning guest. Let's have a good time. Now, the price that Apple Vacations has secured for this trip is incredible and exclusive to us, but it's only available for a limited time. Do not wait. Do it today. Enjoy a week in Nueva Vallarta, Mexico with us. Visit 560theanswer.com/passport. That's 560theanswer.com/passport. Oh, did I mention that there's 9 golf courses nearby?
Yeah, and in the interest of full disclosure, I should warn you, I do snorkel in the raw. So you don't want to be behind me.
We're going to tee it up at the Flamingo. That's a beautiful course, and it's part of that resort. So, again, 560theanswer.com/passport.
All right, we're talking about Trump postponing the State of the Union address until after the partial government shutdown has been settled. Also postpone Michael Cohen's testimony before Congress scheduled for February 7th. Because,
oh, boy.
Because
yeah, tell him.
His mouthpiece, Lanny Davis yesterday climbed out of the primordial slime in which he otherwise resides to say that Michael Cohen's concerned about his family safety.
And that he's being threatened by Trump and Rudy Giuliani. Here's Lanny.
Family is out of bounds. There's only one person in the country, one president in our history, that would threaten family as a tactic to make fear of somebody he calls a rat for telling the truth. And that's President Trump.
Because he tweeted a few times.
I'm not sure what the threat is.
No, we don't. Well, he tweeted a few times about Cohen's father-in-law and had made comments in the past about Cohen's father-in-law.
I would say he's been threatened by the truth. He's only been threatened by the truth. His father-in-law is a very rich guy.
I hear.
He should give information maybe on his father-in-law, because that's the one that people want to look at.
Did he make a deal to keep his wife out of trouble?
And that's it. So those are some comments that he made recently on television in interviews. And then he tweeted about his father-in-law. Cohen's best friend. Are you ready? Here he is.
And he was panicked. He was like, he's going after my father-in-law. Are my children next?
So this is the alleged reason why he's not going to testify with February 7th. But Elijah Cummings says, well, too bad, because they might take it a step further and give a subpoena.
I have not decided exactly how we will go about it, but I promise you, we will hear from them.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Well, they better hurry up, because he's going to jail for 3 years in March.
Yeah.
So tick-tock goes the clock.
In a related story, Michael Gandolfini has been set to play the Tony Soprano in a Sopranos prequel.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Oh.
he's going to play young Tony in a New Jersey organized crime family in the Many Saints of Newark. This is David Chase, the Sopranos creator, and this is this kid Michael Gandolfini who looks like James Gandolfini, looks like his dad. He's in that Deuce series on HBO with James Franco. Okay. Which I don't find actually particularly good, but it is interesting. So maybe Michael Cohen has watched too many episodes of The Sopranos, or he's looking forward to the prequel. All of this threatening my family business and trotting out Lanny Davis to wring his hands and disgust. And yawn.
Oh, I was looking forward to February 7th to hear him.
Tony in Plainfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Thanks for taking my call. I agree. I think President Trump not only missed a major opportunity, but he ducked a responsibility. The State of the Union address is basically a report card of what's been going on, what's happening, what's the plan, and, not giving that address. It's nice to have tradition and do it in the House, but what's wrong with changing tradition? I mean, the address is for the people of the nation. So I think it would have been a great idea for him to visit a part of the nation, the heartland, whatever, even the border, but whatever location would have been picked would have been much more appreciated, I think, by most people than just walking away from it saying, we'll take this up again when things settle down. I think it was a big mistake, and, not to bring the political angle in it, but this is going to hurt him, I believe, very much.
Thanks for the call, Tony. Here's the thing about that. His whole perception is that he's playing the outside game. He's not getting sucked solely into the inside game because he can go outside the Beltway and appeal to the electorate directly. I mean, he's done that on a number of occasions. A lot of presidents in the midterms, being as contentious of a figure as he is, would have not gone out on the trail and campaigned. And yet Trump did. He leaned in. And frankly, it was to the benefit of a lot of candidates, including Senate candidates that won. Not all, but some. And so why not stick with that sort of MO when it comes to trying to advance your agenda? And part of advancing a political agenda, or part of advancing a policy agenda, I should say, is good politics. Because otherwise, what are you in the game? What are you in the business of doing here with Pelosi? You're in the business of trying to create rationalizations for failure rather than lead in the direction of opportunities for success. I mean, do you think it's going to redound to Trump's benefit if he doesn't get some approximation of what he's demanded for border security? And he's just going to say, well, Pelosi and Schumer, but particularly Pelosi, were obstructionists, and that's why I didn't get it? You think that's going to sell? I just got to tell you, back before the Illinois Republican Party was defunct, this is the approach that they took. You want to know why Illinois is the worst governed state in U.S. history? Because one party took this approach of, I'm not going to risk success, I'm going to rationalize failure. And Boogeyman Madigan, Boogeyman Pelosi. It doesn't sell. And it runs counter to Trump's brand. Somebody who's such a marketing whiz, you would think he would be more jealous in the way that he guards his value proposition, the Trump brand, particularly in the mind of his base, but even to go base plus, the deal maker Trump that got a lot of people over the hump to vote for him in 2016, who otherwise found him, personally objectionable, but found Hillary Clinton more personally objectionable. I just don't think it makes any sense to play the inside game. That's what the left wants him to do.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% vine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. You might ask, how can over 10 servings of 31 different fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health.
To order, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and you'll have to wait until spring to get the outside of your house painted, but winter, perfect opportunity to get your interior painted. You know, people walk into my kitchen and ask, Amy, did you get new cabinets? No, I save myself thousands of dollars by simply having them painted by the experts at CertaPro Painters. So cross the first project off your 2019 to-do list. CertaPro Painters will ensure a beautiful transformation of your home. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered. In-home with a color consultation or online with their color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting. You do life.
Have you inherited a coin collection and need help figuring out what it's worth? Do you have your own collection that's just sitting around collecting dust? Turn those old coins into cash at Kedzie Coins. Cash in and pay off bills. Use the money for a new set of wheels. Kedzie Coins is also buying scrap silver and gold on the spot, and they'll give you the best fair market prices. They're committed to the strictest standards of excellence in ethics, an accredited precious metals dealer member with family roots in the heart of Chicago and members of the Professional Numismatics Guild. In the market market to buy? Kedzie Coins is your destination for one of the largest selections of gold and silver bullion minted in the U.S., an enormous inventory of government-issued world coins and U.S. paper money and currency. Visit KedzieCoins.net to see the full line of available stock, or stop by one of their 3 locations: Kedzie Coins and Jewelry on 59th and Kedzie in Chicago, What a Gem Jewelry and Coins in Berwyn, or their flagship store, Broadway Jewelry and Rare Coins in Kankakee. For more info or an appointment, call 773-436-0777.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 4343 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 4343. Enjoy!
Another year and you still haven't done anything about your company's network and computer system. Will your employees struggle to get by on a dated system with no IT personnel to fix it quickly? Or maybe you're thinking everything's running perfectly and it'll be fine. Until it isn't. Whether you've experienced technical trouble or not, when you do, it costs your company money. And it doesn't have to. Don't wait for a crisis. Make 2019 the year you're prepared for anything technology throws at you with Turnkey IT. Turnkey IT helps set you up for success and gets in front of the many technical issues that can overwhelm a business. They specialize in the preventative steps to keep you going. Have Turnkey do a complimentary network audit of your systems, even if you have a current IT company, so you know exactly where you stand in the ever-evolving technology world. A second opinion never hurts. And for a limited time, get free lunch for the decision makers of your company, courtesy of Turnkey.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros, so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Raj Shah, host of Secure Retirement Radio.
This is the time more than ever to look at your accounts and say, you know what? I've made a good amount of money back. Why give that money back, especially if you're entering into retirement and you need to generate an income? You need to have all of that money. So why give back what you've earned back from 2008?
Tune in for Secure Retirement Radio with Raj Shah, Chicago's safe money strategist. Sunday mornings at 7 here on AM 560, The Answer.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy talking about the postponement of the State of the Union address. Just getting back to that. Even more reason for Trump to make it and to make it out there in the hustings, not inside the Beltway. Caravan of Central American migrants seeking to reach the U.S. is set to swell in coming days as thousands gather at Mexico's southern border waiting for humanitarian visas that have become much easier to get under Mexico's new government. Yeah, Obrador's a socialist. 5,600 Central Americans are waiting for visas on the Guatemalan border with Mexico, said Mexican officials. About some 1,500 migrants who forced their way into Mexico last week are heading northward in the state of Oaxaca without hindrance from authorities, while a third group of about 400 left the Honduran city of San Pedro Sula on Sunday. So, helping to make Trump's case for him about the urgency on the matter. Oh, and just in a related story, since I mentioned prior to the break that Illinois is the worst government, worst-run state in the history of America.
Yeah.
Continues to enjoy that title. Spalding, Governor Spalding.
Candyman? The Candyman.
He offered
oh, no, what now?
$100 million in loans to federal workers during the government shutdown.
$100 million?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and interest-free loans?
And $700 in fudge. $700 worth of fudge for everybody, too.
He bought $734 worth of fudge.
$100 million in loans to federal workers during a government shutdown.
Where are we getting that money to loan them that kind of cash?
Mm-hmm. Liquid portions of the state $12 billion investment portfolio, said the state treasurer, Frericks. This is a state that has $8 billion in unpaid bills to state vendors. So should they be prioritized for this money you're going to pull out of the state's investment portfolio? Why aren't the people who've provided a good or a service to the state first
pay
in
them
line?
First.
Because there's no political advantage to do that. Mike in the Loop, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Dan, Amy, I cannot believe that Trump backed down. But more importantly, he's got to have some kind of an alternative game plan here, because he doesn't back down from anything. I mean, I think he's going to sucker punch her eventually. Don't you guys? I mean, it seems really, really odd to me.
He better.
He's
rhetorically,
methodical.
of
I
course.
mean, he will do something.
Thanks,
remember
thanks
first
for the
time,
call, Mike. He's
right.
methodical.
No, but I'm saying after the first time when she said we're going to postpone the State of the Union, then he didn't say anything on Twitter, and then the next day he yanked her military plane to go.
Yeah.
But it was weird that we didn't hear from him right away. But he had a plan, so maybe this time too he has a plan.
Perhaps.
Stay tuned. What? Don't give me the evil eye over there.
Perhaps. I don't know. I'm skeptical, as you
yeah.
should be as well. Remember what I've said. Don't fall in love with politicians. They'll only break your heart.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 6:06, we return to Covington, Kentucky, and so have some protesters.
And speaking of politicians that are breaking your hearts, we'll have that update. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
All right, Kiki D, we'll do that. Dangerously cold weather hitting Chicagoland tonight. A woman charged in a crash that killed an off-duty Cook County Sheriff's deputy. And a Bears superfan up for the Hall of Fame. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
He let Nancy Pelosi have it her way. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump, in a late-night tweet, delays the State of the Union address. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, reporters in the Capitol caught the House Speaker in a hallway asking why no State of the Union.
Because government is closed.
President Trump says there's no place like the House chamber for the address, so he's agreed to postpone the speech until after the government reopens. But he's not happy about it.
That's a great blotch on the incredible country that we all love.
In his late-night tweet, the president saying, I look forward to giving a great State of the Union address in the near future. Dave?
Now, Rachel, the Senate will vote today on two plans to end the standoff.
This is getting downright silly.
Republican leader Mitch McConnell is pushing the president's offer of wall funding in exchange for extended legal status to some immigrants.
The second vote demands nothing in exchange for opening up the government.
Democratic leader Chuck Schumer's bill offers no wall funding. Ex-Trump lawyer Michael Cohen will not testify at the House next month, citing threats from the president and Rudy Giuliani.
I would say he's been threatened by the truth. He's only been threatened by the truth.
The lead Democrat on the House Oversight Committee says they'll do what they have to do to get him there. Cohen lied to Congress about the president's Russian business dealings, but he claims the president directed him to. Political upheaval in Venezuela. Opposition leader Juan Guaido declared himself interim president, saying it's the only way to end Nicolas Maduro's dictatorship, and the U.S. backs Guaido.
This president, this administration will continue to stand without apology for freedom.
Vice President Pence says we're not alone. Other Latin American countries and Canada also support Guaido's claim to the presidency. Maduro calls it an attempt to take Venezuela's oil, gas, and gold. In Sebring, Florida,
we've suffered a significant loss at the hands of a senseless criminal doing a senseless crime.
Police Chief Carl Hoagland is still trying to figure out the motive for a standoff at a bank yesterday that left 5 people dead until officers stormed in and arrested the gunman. This is Fox News.
Skies are clear. We have 12 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Dangerously cold weather set to hit Chicagoland tonight. Wind chill advisory goes into effect at 6 p.m., lasting until noon tomorrow in Cook, DuPage, and Will counties. A wind chill watch issued for Lake McHenry and King counties. A SWAT standoff is coming to an end on Chicago's south side as 2 people robbed a woman at gunpoint, and police say last night they chased a van for a short time that the robbers were inside. That van then crashed in the 6600 block of South Bishop. The suspects ran into a nearby building, then refused to come out for a time. The suspected gunman in the deadly Orland Park Mall shooting in custody. Jakar Williams was arrested last night without incident in Madison. Williams is accused of shooting 18-year-old Javon Britton to death Monday night in the food court of the Orland Square Mall. He was a senior at Rich Central High School. A Markham woman is accused of driving drunk and then causing a crash that killed a Cook County Sheriff's deputy on Chicago's southwest side. Police say Montserrat Perez had a blood alcohol level 3 times the legal limit when she hit a car being driven by Nick Theophanopoulos near 103rd and Kedzie. Theophanopoulos died at Christ Hospital. Perez is due in court today. Indicted Chicago Alderman Ed Burke still denying any wrongdoing in spite of news that he was secretly recorded by fellow Alderman Danny Solis.
Wrong, and anything that Alderman Solis recorded, if he did, isn't going to make any difference.
The Sun-Times reporting yesterday Solis was working with the FBI and secretly recorded conversations with Burke over the last 2 years. A Bears superfan is up for the Hall of Fame. Don Wachter has been attending games as Bearman for more than 20 years. He's now one of 6 NFL fans competing for a chance to be the first inductee into the Ford Hall of Fans, housed at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Hawks over the Bulls last night at the UC, 121-101. Nate Reavers, 22. Wisconsin over Illinois in Champaign, 72-60. Big East hoops, DePaul lost to number 11 Marquette. In the Valley, Missouri State hammered Loyola. The news, a service of Peloton, live studio classes in the comfort of your own home. Winter or summer, rain or shine, with a Peloton bike, it's always the perfect weather to sweat. And with up to 14 live rides a day and over 10,000 more on demand, nothing will get between you and your workout. Learn more about the Peloton bike at onepeloton.com or visit your local showroom. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity applauds the president's stance on trade.
We have had horrible one-sided deals with everybody. That includes NATO, 72 cents of every dollar. That includes even our European allies and friends, supposedly. They have one-sided trade deals. Mexico, NAFTA, Canada, now China. So we're making huge progress.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Some job recruitment sites overload your inbox with resumes. Glassdoor knows not just any will do. From 62 million job seekers, Glassdoor only matches you with qualified candidates who have the skills and experience your small business needs to grow. In fact, Glassdoor hires are 30% more likely to stay with your company longer, and Glassdoor can help you find that perfect candidate in half the resumes. Go to glassdoor.com/hire. Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business.
When it comes to your identity and devices, there's no soundtrack to let you know you might be in danger. That's why you need LifeLock with Norton Security to look out for the silent threats of today's digital universe. No one can prevent all identity theft or cybercrime or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock detects threats to your identity, and Norton protects against online threats. Join now at LifeLock.com and use promo code NEWS to get an additional 10% off your first year.
Dan Proft here, and I want to tell you about a pro-life organization that's very near and dear to me, Aid for Women. Did you know that 1 out of 4 pregnancies in Cook County ends in abortion? Aid for Women is fighting the abortion battle on the front lines. 5 pregnancy care centers and 2 maternity homes in the Chicago area. Because of the passage of House Bill 40 in Illinois, women on Medicaid can get abortions on demand, free of charge throughout the state. As a result, while Planned Parenthood and the abortion industry are closing clinics throughout the rest of the country, they're actually expanding in Illinois. Women can even come here from out of state to get free abortions, all on Illinois taxpayers' dime. We cannot let the abortion industry take over our local communities. Few people know that pro-life pregnancy centers exist to accompany women in unexpected pregnancies. For more than 40 years, Aid for Women has helped women choose life. Your support is vital, and together we will save lives. Go to helpaidforwomen.org and commit today to more actively live out your pro-life convictions. Again, the website helpaidforwomen.org. Please help Aid for Women save lives in Illinois.
Payroll, bookkeeping, month end. Are you feeling short-staffed? Accountemps can provide accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis when you need them to help with increased workloads. Call them today or visit accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company.
6:07 and a check on the roads. In the AM 560 Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Bishop Ford Freeway traffic is stop and go from 103rd to the raw end. It's 22 minutes, 8094 to the merge. I-57, 15 minutes, just a little congested approaching the raw end. And on the inbound raw end, we're seeing delays from 95th to 71st. Canal Port to the Burns Circle. 21 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 15. Overnight work wrapping up, 87th split. Eden's okay. Inbound Kennedy. Traffic's getting a bit heavy around Cumberland. On Eisenhower, delays are from Manheim to 25th, 1st Avenue to Harlem, Western to Ashland, reported crash. 35 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 30. On Stevenson, 43 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Tollways are looking good. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Today, mostly cloudy, colder, and a high at 20. Partly cloudy, breezy, and cold. Tonight, low -5. Clouds and cold for tomorrow, and a high only 6. Cold day Saturday, intervals of clouds and sun, high 13. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
10 at O'Hare, 16 Lakefront, 4 this morning in Aurora. And your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Well, the school doors were open at Covington Catholic in Kentucky yesterday. The local bishop, Roger Joseph Foys, met with the kids. This is the bishop who...
Did he apologize to them for rushing to judgment?
Yeah, exactly. Initially condemned them. No apology.
Oh, all right.
Pending a third-party investigation. But the parents said the bishop was his tone was fairly good, and he was very much in support of the boys, and that Foys has been very staunchly pro-life.
I'm sure they had extra security there because of the threats that they've been getting.
Yes, they did. And also, you've had some protesters now descend on Covington.
Oh, boy.
To take up the case of Nathan Phillips and, the radical left generally.
Losing people that are mascot supporters and that believe the gaslighting bullshit that's going on in trying to turn this story around and make it seem like our elder Nathan Phillips was the antagonizer. They have plenty. They can have their own rally. They can do their own thing because they're getting plenty of space time right now. This is our space time right now. Yeah? This is our time and our moment. And I want to make sure everybody knows that this doesn't have to be the one and only time. We can continue to organize this because this is not an isolated incident. This happens every day and gets no media attention. Okay, so we need to continue on this. We need to hold people accountable, not just these students, because there's a lot of students across this country that do the same thing, and because they have white privilege and entitlement, get away with doing it. Not educated. All right? So again, I want to remind people we can organize another one. And at the end of this, we're actually going to be sending a delegation to speak to the diocese.
Oh, great.
So stay tuned on that. We'll see how that goes, right?
Definitely will. Seth Barron writing in City Journal. Pushing the narrative that Trump has ignited a firestorm of white racism across the country requires a continual flow of stories making the point, regardless of accuracy or context. The relentless search for Trumpian villainy has precast the meaning of every story. All that remains is to fill in the blanks. And that's what you have going on here, which is why you have many on the left completely unchastened by all of the information and all of the video that was disclosed over the last several days after the initial video snippet. And even in the face of apologies, people walking it back in, including no less than the man-hating shrews on The View, Jonathan Capehart, writing in the Washington Post, nothing justifies what the Covington students did. Melinda Hennenberger, writing in USA Today, Covington Catholic video show life is complicated, but we still saw what we saw, which is the kids behaving badly is the point. And
They weren't behaving. Didn't she even watch the interview on the Today Show?
you see what you want to see.
Did she hear these kids' attorney who's doing this pro bono, because he might file a defamation suit on their behalf, that they have 48 hours? They have until tomorrow, actually, to retract their comments and apologize?
We mentioned this when the study came out, but it's worth repeating in this context. A fall issue last year, the Journal of Social Media and Society, an article entitled Social Networking Site as a Political Filtering Platform, Predicting the Act of Political Unfriending and Hiding. And what these researchers looked at was who is, what's the profile of the more closed-minded versus the more open-minded, basically. And what they found is liberals are more likely to block, unfriend, or hide contacts because of polarizing messages. Online networks of Democrats are actually more homogenous than those of Republicans. Even though liberals are known as open-minded to political information, such results suggest plausible evidence for liberals to unfriend others to achieve a homogeneous space.
So the only person that unfriended me on Twitter was Karen Lewis. And she unfriended me because I work with you and you said something that she didn't like.
Exactly.
She blocked you and then she blocked me.
Mm.
That's the only person I've been blocked by.
The more liberal an individual was, these researchers found, the more likely he or she was to unfriend their contacts over a difference of opinion.
We did get an email from one of our listeners. After 2 days of heated emails between me and my liberal friend, she emailed me last night to apologize for being so wrong about the Covington kids.
Well, she's not going to get a post at the Bezos Post or on the editorial pages of the Bezos Post or USA Today, apparently. CNN, certainly. Or as a host of Democracy Now! wait till you hear this. 20-minute interview with Nathan Phillips on Democracy Now! !
Okay. Did you listen to it so I didn't have to?
Correct.
Thank you. You're a good man, Dan. Good man.
Listen to this comparison.
All right.
You want to talk about... Nathan Phillips has given multiple stories of what happened. He gave a different story to the Washington Post than he gave to the Detroit Free Press about what went down and what his motivation was.
And someone said that they were chanting "Build a Wall" when they were not,
And
and that was confirmed because NBC looked through every single square tape of that footage. I listened to it too. That nobody ever said or chanted "Build a Wall."
Well,
that was a lie coming.
And
from
you think
him,
NBC was looking for that desperately? Sure, they were. Build a wall, by the way. Nathan Phillips makes the point, being the robust intellect that he is.
Yeah.
That is a catch-all phrase for white supremacy.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's some other comparisons Nathan Phillips offered to what he saw, first in the eyes, and then as the window to the soul. What he saw in those Covington kids, he confronted.
When it got to about 200 youth, and the screaming and the hollerings, and the images were the same images that I seen in pictures of youth, young white people surrounding a black youth trying to eat at a counter. The same faces that were on the crowds of those youth at the D.C. was the same faces of the youth that were surrounding the young black woman who was trying to get an education, and the scorns and the scowls that were on the pictures there, and the same pictures of when you see pictures of lynchings, the same faces on the folks that were doing the lynchings. That's what these young people's faces looked like. They were angry. They were.
Is he gonna cry?
They got to a point where it was scary.
Oh my gosh.
Nathan Phillips comparing the Covington Catholic high school boys, I think this is the comparison he's trying to make, to the segregationists at Little Rock Central in 1957 trying to keep black kids from going to school.
That's
the school from
bit
being
of a
integrated. And that was before he compared them to, KKK lynch mobs. Same anger in those faces. Oh, he's not done.
Oh, no.
Nathan Phillips was afraid. He was afraid.
I was absolutely afraid. There was a group of over 200 young, angry white men who were displaying mob mentality, and they were facing down just 4 black individuals. And it was coming to a point where just a snap of the finger could have caused them kids to descend on those 4 individuals. I didn't agree with the black Israelites and what they were saying, but what I do believe is that America is a land of freedoms.
So, just so you understand, Nathan Phillips is the hero in this story. You get it? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Get your reactions to Nathan Phillips' version of events, which, of course, on Democracy Now! Was completely unchallenged. Was there any questions about Nathan Phillips and his cohorts attempting to disrupt the Saturday evening vigil mass at the Basilica in D.C.? No. Was there any discussion of Nathan Phillips allowing his war record to be misreported? No. And not only is he the hero, he's a hero that was divinely inspired. God put him in this place between black and white to save the day, don't you know?
I didn't go out there when I was asked to do something, and I didn't know what it was, and I turned to God to help me.
Oh, my gosh.
And Creator put me there, and it was to stand between white and black racism, and that's where I was at. And that's when I realized where I was at, the dangerous situation I was in, and that was when they surrounded us. And I couldn't go left, I couldn't go right, we couldn't go back without running into this mob.
Is that what you saw? A mob surrounding Nathan Phillips, pinning him and his friends in? Is that what you saw? Did you see a powder keg that was about to explode? Did you even see most of the kids? By the way, so much is made of MAGA hats. I mean, a handful of kids wore them.
I know.
There's
not
200.
everybody-
Most of them didn't. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro text line. 646, that answer line, I should say. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. We will take your apologies to Nathan Phillips all morning.
I mean, do you remember what those black Hebrews were screaming at them?
A bunch of incest babies. A bunch of babies made out of incest.
Right.
Out there from Kentucky. And we're yelling, you're going to be the next school shooters.
I understand, and the reactions from the kids was what?
They did their school cheers. And then Nathan Phillips decided to insert himself because, oh, this looks good. I'm going to get in here.
Because God told him to.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. It was divine intervention. You're right, Dan.
Corey and Woodlawn, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I just want to make a comment about Nate Phillips. I mean, I think he went over there deliberately to agitate those kids because he got into that kid's personal space so tight, and then he used the drum to try to hide the camera from what he was doing. I think that kid showed great restraint. Someone beating a drum that close into your face in your personal space, I think Nathan Phillips, to me, violated this kid horrendously.
Thanks for the call, Corey. Chip in St. Charles.
Nathan Phillips is a paid protester. Somebody paid him to go there and pick on high school kids. I think the real story here is, who is the person who paid Nathan Phillips to go there and pick on high school kids?
Well, I don't.
No, he was there for it was indigenous peoples. Day March. No, Friday was. I'm not kidding. It was.
Well, yeah, I know, but the point is, Chip's point is, he's alleging some sort of astroturfing here. I don't know. There's no evidence of that at this point. But thanks for the call, Chip. I mean, anything's possible, but I like to just stick with what we know. But we do know a little bit about Nathan Phillips' history, and his history is as a professional agitator. Paid or unpaid? I don't know. Gabby in Schaumburg.
Hi, good morning. I have a comment. I don't understand how this skinny, toothless wonder with a stick and a drum was supposed to calm 200 angry men. I guarantee if it was Chicago inner city Catholic school black youth, he would have never gone up to them. Never. And that's all I have to say.
All right. Thanks, Gabby. Ken in Lombard.
I'd like to make a comment about this Nathan Phillips, the American Indian, his hyperbolic analysis, supposed analysis of what's going on. Let's see, we have youth that are trying to defend life. The real Wounded Knee moment is every time a baby is getting their body parts torn apart against their will and suffering. That's the real travesty. If he wants to go back in history, let's do it and see what happened, and let's make the analysis that way and find the real Wounded Knee moment. So I have.
Thanks, Ken. Philip in Blue Island.
Hey, Gabby, and this guy just invoked the Wounded Knee. It's ridiculous. I saw the videotape, a small snippet, and I think that, and I can't be for sure, but I think that they were talking about build a wall at that point. And that's when the Hebrew Israelites came out and said, well, look, when was the last time there was a Mexican or a black, and he said Negro, or a Native American and so forth and so on, do a school shooting? And then the crowd of the Covington boys couldn't say anything, and that's when the Hebrew Israelites were saying, now crickets, now y'all quiet. But, you know, at first they were chanting, they were making a bunch of noise, and they were being disruptive to the Hebrew Israelites, and they gave it back to them. But my problem is that the news mainstream news media is not showing these videos, and so it's just kind of in a way bending over backwards to make the Covington boys look as innocent. And so I just think that the media coverage is not fair on the three sides: the Hebrew Israelites, the Native American, and the boys in the school. So there's a lot of confusion, but there is videotapes.
Thanks for the call, Philip.
There are videotapes, and you should watch all of them, like I did.
Yeah,
you can see how this escalated and see how it ends. And...
You know, the problem with the D.C. press corps, as Philip points out, is its conservative bias in favor of white Christian men. That's the problem. And so they misreport on behalf of white Christian men. You know, that's what the D.C. press corps does, particularly in the Trump era. And the real story here is not just the story I reported, Nathan Phillips' hero, per Nathan Phillips.
Yeah.
It's also black Hebrews' heroes. Thank you for clearing that up, Philip from Blue Island.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The quivers, the shivers, goosebumps. That's what our customers say before 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning repairs their furnace. Call us. We'll fix it right, stand by our work, and give you our straightforward pricing, which means no hourly charges. How's that for goosebumps? Right now, get big savings on any heating repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Hey, if you want to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, then you need to call Team Hochberg. We have some news, though, to share with you. To provide listeners additional financing options and lower rates, Team Hochberg is now originating loans at Homeside Lending. That's right, Homeside Lending. And they have a new number. It's 855-56-DAVID. That's 855-56-DAVID or online at 56david.com. Team Hochberg is let me try that again. Team Hochberg loan officers are Kevin Kochman, Lynn, Jose Rodriguez, Scott Ellis, Cindy Piazza, JP Marzano, Thomas Byrne, Anna Eckroth, and they have helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but they can't help you if you don't call. The new number, 855-56-DAVID, or visit 56david.com. Homeside Financial Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, MB 676-10119, NMLS 1124061.
And now, a quick comparison from Grasshopper. When you're always on the go, what would you prefer, an office phone system?
Hey, it's Rochelle. Sorry I missed you earlier. Had an errand to run, but I'm back in the office, so give me a call when you get this.
Or one that works on your cell phone? No hardware needed, courtesy of Grasshopper.
Oh, one sec. It's a business call. Hi, this is Rochelle with Way Forward Partners. How can I help?
There's no contest. Put your best voice forward with Grasshopper, the virtual phone system for small business. Try it free at grasshopper.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
My hair is turning. I see a little bald spot. My husband doesn't, but I do. But anyway, it's filled in. I think I got a good head of hair now. As a result of taking that, yeah. The volume of it was decreasing, but now it's back to what it was.
It helps me with my sleep, my digestion, everything that I had experienced the first time I took it.
I'm experiencing again, and I'm pleased. So I'm very happy with it.
I can tell a huge difference. One day I just totally, I don't know, it was a Saturday, I totally forgot to take them, and I was like toast the whole day. And then I realized, I haven't taken my fruits and veggies.
Use discount code CHICAGO for 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies with free shipping. This offer is going to end between now and February, so act fast. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Sticking on the Covington story, Chris Hayes over at MSNBC, he's like the Rachel Maddow impersonator. They're basically doppelgangers.
Yeah. They have the same hairdo.
He offered a commentary, much like Philip from Blue Island pointed out. You know, MSNBC's got that conservative bias. Chris Hayes on the rushing to judgment with respect to the Covington Catholic High School kids in the context of judgments more generally. Listen to Chris Hayes.
The defining conservative experience of this era is the palpable terror and rage at a social hierarchy that is threatening to tip over and land on its head. One in which those who enjoy a basic kind of American privilege, the right to due process and second chances and charitable readings of their actions and even mistakes, find themselves, seemingly without warning, tossed instead onto the unforgiving bonfire of snap judgment and harsh punishment. And I understand why they are scared of that, why they want to fight it. Because America is already the most punitive developed nation on earth. For poor people, for people of color, for those who don't have Brett Kavanaugh's pedigree or the authority of a badge or $10,000 a year to spend on private school tuition or money to hire a PR firm. We throw millions of lives onto that bonfire every year. They just don't normally look like the teenagers in MAGA hats. And the answer isn't a society that's more punitive or social media mobs doxing children, one that permanently marks for life teenagers of all social strata, but rather a society of empathy, compassion, and accountability, evenly, equitably, and justly applied. But, funnily enough, it is hard to get the modern conservative grassroots mobilized on behalf of that goal when the kids being stamped and judged and locked away don't make them think, that could be my son.
Yeah, that was in the context of saying, you know, the Brett Kavanaugh rally was, that could be my dad, my brother, right? Yeah. So here's a translation of what Chris Hayes is saying for Philip and others. He is essentially saying conservatives are racists who care only about unfairness directed at people who look and think like them. That's what Chris Hayes is saying in his wonderful effort to offer a message of unity. MSNBC with their conservative bias.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, one alderman in court, the other alderman wired. We'll explain.
And we get a letter from a millennial who is awoke in the western burbs. What would your advice to him be as to his activism at 6:36?
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Dangerously cold weather is set to hit Chicagoland tonight. The National Weather Service says frigid temps are expected, wind chills as low as 30 below in some spots. Remember that wind chill advisory goes into effect at 6 p.m. and lasts until noon tomorrow in Cook, DuPage, and Will counties. A wind chill watch for Lake McHenry and Kane counties. President Trump says he'll make his State of the Union address when the government shutdown is over. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, you recall, canceled next week's address, saying it shouldn't happen until the government is funded, and that government shutdown may be hurting some FBI investigations. The FBI Agents Association president is Tom O'Connor.
To fund the FBI is making it more difficult for us to do our jobs, to protect the people of our country from criminals and terrorists. This is not about politics or partisanship.
Meantime, some agents say they can't pay informants because of a lack of funding. Investigators say no threats were discovered after suspicious packages were found at the Diocese of Covington in Kentucky. The investigation follows an incident in Washington, D.C. over the weekend involving Covington Catholic High School students. Meantime, Kenton County Commonwealth Attorney Rob Sanders in Kentucky says there will be an investigation into the threats against those students, and it will be lengthy.
A lot of this is done with grand jury subpoenas that take weeks or months for the companies to comply with, to get the information, the records, the proof we need to go forward with charges. So this isn't something that's going to be over in the next couple days.
Concerns about safety prompted officials in Kentucky to cancel classes there. A couple of other stories we're watching this morning. Atlanta airport officials say a threatening tweet forced the shutdown of a runway at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport last night. Atlanta police searched a plane for explosives and then gave an all clear. General Mills recalling gold medal unbleached flour over possible salmonella contamination. The recalled flour comes in 5-pound bags with a better if used by date of April 20th, 2020. Less than 100,000 bags are affected. No reports of illness. And the recall, according to the company, is out of an abundance of caution. Chicago sports, Hawks over the Bulls, 121-101. Patrick Kane, the Blackhawks lone representative at the NHL All-Star Game this weekend. Big Ten Hoops, Wisconsin topped Illinois. The news service of Accountemps. Payroll, bookkeeping, month end. Are you feeling short-staffed? Accountemps can provide accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis when you need them to help with increased workloads. Call them today or visit Accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Winter stinks. Snow, ice, freezing temperatures, more snow. Escape Chicago and join Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. You'll stay at the Marvel Residences Luxury Resort in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. It's a beautiful, all-inclusive resort located between Rainforest Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. Don't wait to book your Passport to Paradise trip with AM 560 and Apple Vacations. Visit 560theanswer.com/passport. That's 560theanswer.com/passport.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and you'll have to wait until spring to get the outside of your house painted, but winter, perfect opportunity to get your interior painted. You know, people walk into my kitchen and ask, Amy, did you get new cabinets? No, I save myself thousands of dollars by simply having them painted by the experts at CertaPro Painters. So cross the first project off your 2019 to-do list. CertaPro Painters will ensure a beautiful transformation of your home. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered. In-home with a color consultation or online with their color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It is 6:37. Let's check our roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Northbound Lakeshore Drive, traffic is jammed. Wacker across the river to Grand Avenue where there's a crash. Eden's inbound to 72E to Montrose. 21 minutes Lake Cook Junction up on 19. About Kennedy. Delays from 190 to Harlem, crash on the right shoulder. And then Austin to Central. 26 minutes O'Hare to downtown up on 22. On Eisenhower, it's low Manheim to Harlem, and Costner to before Ashland, crash on the right shoulder. 44 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 30. On Stevenson, 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 35. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 16 minutes, side to the Murray, Bishop 425. Tollways are still okay. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, cloudy, colder today, high near 20. The extreme cold begins this evening. Some of that could be dangerous, so watch out. Low 5 below. 10 above right now at O'Hare and 4 above in Aurora. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. A plea for help from Downers Grove. We got this interesting letter from the father of 2 daughters, young family, living in Downers Grove, grew up in the Western Burbs. He writes, Dear Casey, he writes, I am a young millennial, father of 2 daughters, living in Downers Grove. I went to Trinity Lutheran in Burr Ridge through 8th grade. Raised in a religious conservative household. Went to college, served in the Navy on a sub for 6 years. My wife and I moved back to the Burbs, Western Burbs, bought our first home in Downers Grove when I went to grad school to start a family in the area in which we grew up. You know, she works in the northern suburbs. He gives that backstory to say, I believe it's fairly typical, aside from the military service, middle-class upbringing in Illinois. He's always identified as conservative, but never been active in politics in the sense of being an activist. Follows politics, votes for conservative candidates. Never actively campaigned for anyone or any referendum outside of his own family. And he writes, I cannot just sit around and complain about higher taxes and the liberals anymore, despite it being a favorite pastime of mine. Sure, join the club. Now it's time for action. The tactics being used by the left, he cites the Kavanaugh nomination, Covington, have scared me for our rights. The principles that informed and designed the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, Constitution, our system of government, now being branded as racist, oppressive. The combined power of the political left, cultural elite, have turned what I thought was a snowball into an avalanche. I've always been able to internalize the struggle or debate because even if not on the state level, on the national level, there's always been sort of a self-regulating back and forth between the left and the right that has not allowed the left's demonization of conservatives for political gain to have lasting traction. Well, I think that was a misunderstanding of what was happening, but okay. He continues, I've been reflecting today on the self-imposed silence of my political beliefs to ease personal interactions, improve my career success, and how the two have become more explicitly linked in the last 10 years. Growing up, I remember discussing political disagreements in high school without fear of repercussion. Once I got to college, that started to change. And now he's noticing the change at the kindergarten level because he's got a daughter in kindergarten. It's moved beyond a joke or something I complain about at dinner. The things he was taught growing up, he writes, are not only not being promoted, they're being denigrated. Equal results are the ideal. The annual theme for the school is, quote unquote, be kind, which as far as I can tell has nothing to do with education and everything to do with defining anything that is politically correct as unkind. And use of technology is introduced at a young age as the unquestioned answer to everything without defining the objective, verifiable, improved result the new technology will achieve. There was a book sale going on at my first parents' night at the school. My wife and I strolled through while waiting for our time slot with our daughter's teacher. 2 books stood out to me. The one about Ruth Bader Ginsburg and the one about the struggle of the modern illegal immigrant. I turned to my wife and joked, the one about Clarence Thomas must be sold out. I tell you all this because now I realize now is the time for action. I'm 37, conservative, passionate, educated. It may be personal what is spurring me into action, what's happening at his daughter's school, obviously, because I don't want my daughters to turn into one of the mindless groupthink clowns that my peers have turned into. I want to prevent my daughters from turning into the kind of person that listens to podcasts as their main source of knowledge and truth instead of literature, history, philosophy, and religion. What is your recommended course of action? I've reached my breaking point, and hopefully not too late. What is your recommended course of action? What would you tell this gentleman who wrote to us? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 646-368, turnkey.pro text line. What would you recommend to this young father of two? Professional, served in the military, conservative, doesn't like what's going on in his daughter's kindergarten class. Hello. Wake-up call.
Wait until he finds out that they teach sex ed and tell you about same-sex marriage in kindergarten. They did that at our school. But they did that because one person in the class had two daddies, so they had to explain what was going on.
Did they?
But now they keep doing it.
Did they? Did they have to explain?
Well, that was their reasoning.
I'm sure it was. The 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. He's your neighbor, Downers Grove, Western Burbs. What would you advise, recommended course of action? What do you do when you see what he's observing? My response was to contemplate which state I was going to recommend he move to.
Okay. So not private school being your first response? Or
Yes, but first you have to decide which state you're going to reside in.
Or you're going to go north, you're going to go east,
Yeah.
you're going to go west. You got Iowa, Indiana, you got Wisconsin.
Well,
You got Missouri.
What would you recommend to him?
I lived it, so I mean, you can confront the principal, but then you take a chance there of being the agitator, and then they could retaliate against you in ways you may not even know about. Gosh, that's a hard one. I mean, private school, but then what if they don't have the funds, the revenue to take little junior there to a private school? Homeschooling's an option.
What if the issue is bigger than just his daughters, or his daughter in this case? But
It's brainwashing, but it begins at a young age. And the reason how I counter that is by giving my children the other side of the story, making them see both. Because, when the Covington thing happened, there, of course, we're watching it. They told me about it before I knew about it. Oh, Mom, did you see this is going on? It's going viral all over the internet. I can't believe that white kid is wearing a MAGA hat doing that. Said there is a different side of the story.
I mean, I appreciate this gentleman's letter because he's wanting to get more involved, even if he feels a little bit late to the dance. I suppose it's never too late. I mean, it is in Illinois, but generally speaking. And he closes the letter with, I need to step it up. At least there's a little bit of self-accountability there.
It's a well-written letter.
There's not a lot of self-accountability in this state otherwise. I mean, I guess I should take this as an encouraging sign. But, I'm exhausted with making recommendations, because I've been doing it for 25 years.
And you feel like no one's listening?
Pretty much.
It's like banging your head against the wall?
Yeah,
because
basically. Yes. Not bags of concrete.
Oh, okay.
Is how I think about it. So take your recommendations. Ken in Plainfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, there's a few things you can do. At one level, when my kids were younger, I taught them what I thought was right, and if one of their teachers said something against it, I'd go ask the teacher about it. On the local level, as a precinct committeeman, until my schedule didn't allow it anymore, which I kind of regret. But the biggest thing is keep involved with your kids, talk with them, tell them your philosophy and why. And for the most part, they turn out right. Out of 6 kids, I got one that's a stinking liberal, and the rest are, conservative.
Who's your favorite?
5 out of 6 is pretty good. That's not bad.
My favorite is the one that used to ride with me on my motorcycle until I crashed it. But that's another story.
Okay.
Gosh.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
I mean, he's still alive, right?
He's laughing about it, so I think everybody must be okay.
It was my favorite until I accidentally.
Thanks for the call, Ken. 5 out of 6 conservatives, and 5 out of 6 survived. So Ken's fathering. So
all of his kids are just fine. Wow.
Mark in Glen Ellen. He's in the Western Burbs.
Yeah.
What do you got for him, Mark?
Hey, first from some love for Amy there. I totally agree with you, Amy, on the homeschooling or the the private school. because we're up against the machine. We've gone to our school board a number of times with issues and just been surprised at the lack of conservative values that are expressed on the school board, or people that will actually come to a school board meeting and express conservative values. So at some point, you got to take control for your kids and bring them inside.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
All right.
Amy in Huntley.
Great name.
Hi, Dan and Amy. Yeah, I'm right along with the rest of them. I would never send my kid to public schools because, like he said, they get indoctrinated there, and the kids are so vulnerable, and their peers are more important to them at one point than their parents are. And so you're teaching them is not going to be as important as peer pressure. So pull them out. Whatever you have to do, scrimp and save to get them into private school, because the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world.
Okay, Rebecca De Mornay.
Wow.
Thanks for the call, Amy. Here's a question, though. What about the school that's left behind? What about that public school through which most kids will matriculate? Right? It's the public schools that are going to be responsible for most of the kids. That's where most of the kids are going to get educated. Beyond your kids and providing for them, and that's first priority, and it should be, and I get that. What about institutions that have been completely taken over and have a majority impact on culture that we've totally ceded to the left, like K through 12, like higher ed, like the arts, like entertainment, like corporate C-suites? What do you say about that? You think you can just kind of exist in a world of private schooling that is consistent with your values, and then you get out into the real world, and then what do you do? Just try and kind of live in these enclaves and hope that the forces of the left don't come for you where you live? Well, that's not going to work, is it? Jim in Willowbrook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, guys. Hey, just a couple of things for this guy. I grew up pretty similar to him in that I was raised in the suburbs. I joined the military, spent 12 years in the Marine Corps. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I became a police officer out in California. Couldn't live in California, obviously. Thought coming back to Illinois was a good idea. Ended up, not the best idea in the world. But I have a 7-year-old now. My youngest before her is 25.
Oh.
And
starting over, are you? Okay.
Okay.
It's got to the point where we go to every school board meeting.
There you go.
We are involved with the school. We're talking to the principal all the time. We have 3 parent-teacher conferences every year. It's got to the point where you have to be involved and let the school know you're watching, because they're not going to change unless we change them. When they decided to start talking about sex ed in kindergarten for us, there's only 53 kids in our whole kindergarten. There's 3 classes, but there's 53 kids in the whole kindergarten. All 53 sets of parents were there, and we said no, and they didn't do it.
Good.
Now,
so it's got to the point where if you don't force them to do what you want, they're not going to do it.
Jim is getting to it. Thanks for the call, Jim, and the story. It's a great one. He's getting to it. He's zeroing in on it. Lucy in Lowell, Indiana. Hi, Lucy.
Hello.
Yep, you're on, Lucy.
Yes. Thank you for taking my call. One thing you have to really look at is the curriculum, and do not allow the schools to go to computerized textbooks and stuff, because with this Common Core, which is crap, you need to, you as parents will not know what your child is being taught, because you don't have a book to go through and really look at what's in the curriculum. So that's my 2 cents to add to everybody else's. Thank you.
Thanks, Lucy.
Yeah, a lot of schools are doing that. CPS is not, so that's one good thing, okay? I like the textbook. I like the feel of an actual book, and so do my kids.
All right.
They stare at enough screens when they're not at school. I don't need to stare at one during school.
Ed in Oak Brook.
Parenting.
You know what I would tell that father, Dan? that you're going to hold that fundraiser or that rally on for the president's speech that he was going to give, and you're going to defy Nancy Pelosi, and you're going to defy all of these Democrats, and you're going to shave that stupid beard that he's probably got on his face, and you're going to act like a man, as Vito Corleone would say. There's a reason why you should have that thing on the 29th, Dan, is because, you know what, there's like-minded people like that guy and all your callers that just want to be together. They really don't care about what Trump has to say because, you know what, he's waffling, and you'll be caving into Nancy Pelosi. Do you want to go down in history and saying you're caving into Nancy Pelosi? Don't cancel that dinner. Have it. And if people don't want to show up, give them their money back. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to rearrange my schedule, and I would definitely go if you have it.
All right.
All right.
Have
Well,
that dinner.
program note,
Thanks,
the State of the Union party we were going to have called Taste of Freedom has been canceled, and we will be getting back to you information. We'll be giving your money back, too. So,
Dan in Libertyville, back on topic.
And thanks for taking my call. And in my opinion, being a father of 5 and having experienced these schools and what you have to go through in order to try and stay on top of what they're doing wrong, it really isn't worth being in Illinois and having to fight that every day, as well as the people that are in your neighborhood, the people that you are in your community with that are like-minded to the people in the school. You're much better off, in my opinion, to move to a place in which you live with like-minded people who support your values, who will help your children to understand why what you feel is important to them too, versus having the whole world around these kids teaching them your parents are wrong.
Thanks, Dan.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. President Trump to announce a venue for an alternative State of the Union address. New unemployment figures out today. Those stories are next.
Hi, this is Alexander Green, Chief Investment Strategist for the Oxford Club. Just for a moment, I'd like you to picture the perfect stock. No doubt it would have hundreds of billions in revenue, more than IBM, Facebook, and Google. It would probably be a leader in cutting-edge technology like smartphones and robotics. It would be on the verge of dozens of blockbuster announcements. But most of all, it would be ultra cheap, trading at less than $3 a share. Now, it may seem crazy that such a stock exists, but it does. It's a cutting-edge tech company that has made deals worth hundreds of millions of dollars with Nokia, Microsoft, and Cisco, and a $29.2 billion deal with Apple. It's set to create 50,000 new jobs right here in America, and Donald Trump even calls it the 8th wonder of the world. Yet you've likely never even heard of the stock. Why? Because it trades under a secret name. To find out why the secret $3 stock can help you retire, simply go to onestockretirement.com. That's onestockretirement.com.
So now the question is, where will President Trump deliver his State of the Union address next week, after yesterday's outrageous refusal by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to permit President Trump to give his State of the Union address in the House of Representatives to a joint session of Congress? The state capitol chambers of both North Carolina and Michigan have already been offered for the president's use. West Virginia Senate unanimously voting to give free community college and technical college to state residents. Participants would have to pass a drug test, agree to live in West Virginia for at least 2 years after they finish their education. Economic reports due out today, including the latest jobless claims, the index of leading economic indicators, and an update on private sector production. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
So as one of my New Year's resolutions to get financially fit, I was attending Online Trading Academy in Lombard last Friday, actually. And during my class last Friday morning, this WIND listener came up to me and told me about Balance of Nature and how he and his wife take it every day. They have been for the past 5 years. And he doesn't feel any older. And that's what's good, because he's also getting the fruits and vegetables that he needs, that he admitted he doesn't get on a daily basis. And that's where Balance of Nature comes in. 30 fruits and vegetables, picked at the peak of freshness, then flash dried and ground into a powder, put into a capsule. There's no preservatives, so it's easy to digest. And in a matter of days, you will start to notice a difference. Begin the new year by getting healthier with Balance of Nature. I've met with Dr. Howard and his family, And read the emails and heard the voicemails that he gets on a daily basis from real people who are living healthier lives because they've been taking Balance of Nature. Get a few bottles for yourself. Go to balanceofnature.com. Type Chicago in that promo code for 35% off your order. Again, balanceofnature.com, promo code Chicago, or simply call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751.
The most popular days to get engaged are Christmas, New Year's, and Valentine's Day. And guys, finding the perfect wedding venue can be harder to figure out than the color and quality of the perfect diamond. With love in the air, Avante Banquets is here to help you plan the wedding of your dreams for the party of a lifetime at a price right for you. Avante Banquets is part of the family-owned Chicago Prime Restaurants with a picturesque location opened just last year near Barrington, providing fine American dining and a timeless experience. Avante is an exceptional space for your wedding or corporate events and fundraisers for an intimate gathering or parties of 500 or more. The calendar is filling up, so secure your date today at AvanteBanquets.com. That's AVANTE Banquets.com. With wedding packages starting at just $39 a person. Experience exceptional hospitality with the Calcunos family at Avante Banquets, because classic never goes out of style. AvanteBanquets.com. AvanteBanquets.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Meanwhile, on the trade front, is China losing on every front? We'll ask Steve Moore at 7:07.
But first, let's hop into the newsroom and catch up with news here at home and around the world. Here is Mike Scott.
Fox with the latest on the shutdown in just a moment. A dangerous cold weather front hitting Chicagoland tonight. Ed Burke denies wrongdoing despite the Solis recordings. Bulls lose to the Hawks and a college hoops stunner. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
He'll wait to deliver the State of the Union. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump postponing Tuesday's address until the partial government shutdown ends, just like House Speaker Nancy Pelosi wanted.
The president tweeting that he is not looking for an alternative venue and that no venue can, quote, compete with the history, tradition, and importance of the House chamber, adding that he looks forward to giving a great State of the Union address in the near future.
That's Fox's Sean Langell. Now, Pelosi tweeted right after she hopes by the near future that means the president will support the Democrat plan to end the partial government shutdown. The Senate will vote on that today.
It's massively important to 800,000 public servants who've been languishing without pay.
That's the Democratic leader, Chuck Schumer. His plan does not provide any wall funding, but the first plan senators will vote on does. It's the president's offer, backed by Republican leader Mitch McConnell, to also extend legal status to some immigrants.
It's hard to think of a good reason to oppose this.
In Florida, they're trying to determine if robbery was a motive the day after a bank standoff ended with 5 people dead. Fox's Evan Brown is live in Sebring.
20-year-old Zephan Zaver will appear before a judge this hour here. That judge is expected to not allow Zaver to post bail. He's charged with 5 murders, and it shocked this small town. Sharon Spillane lives next door to the suspect.
He's just very quiet. He was very quiet and very well-mannered. Anytime that I saw him, he's very, very well-mannered.
Investigators have yet to identify the victims or reveal whether or not this was an attempt at robbing the SunTrust Bank branch. Zaver did call 911 to report he fired shots inside, Dave.
Edmund, North Korea's leaders on board for a second meeting with President Trump that's being planned for next month. It's a meeting that may take place someplace outside the United States. That hasn't been determined yet, but the president wrote the North Korean leader a letter, and Kim Jong-un says he got the letter and expressed great satisfaction with it. This is Fox News.
Skies are clear. 12 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Dangerous weather set to hit Chicagoland tonight. The National Weather Service says the frigid temps are expected with wind chills as low as 30 below in some spots. A wind chill advisory goes into effect at 6 p.m. for Cook, DuPage, and Will counties, and a wind chill watch for Lake McHenry and Kane counties. SWAT teams were on the scene of a standoff on Chicago's south side that has been resolved peacefully. Police say 2 robbed a woman at gunpoint last night. The robbers took the victim's purse, cell phone, and van. Officers spotted the stolen van near Belmont and Lakeshore and followed it until it crashed in the 6600 block of South Bishop. 2 suspects ran into a nearby building and refused to come out for some time. Naperville police say an officer shot a man who authorities say pointed a gun at the officers. Police responded to a call of a suspicious person late last night at a strip mall on Ogden Avenue near River Road. When police arrived, a man was standing in the parking lot with a gun actually pointed at his head. As police approached, the man moved toward the officers and pointed his gun at them. One officer opened fire, seriously injuring the man. No officers were injured. A task force and the DuPage County State's Attorney remain on the scene investigating. Indicted Chicago Alderman Ed Burke is still denying any wrongdoing, despite news he was secretly recorded by fellow Alderman Danny Solis. During his first city council meeting yesterday since being charged, Burke talked with reporters.
And anything that Alderman Solis recorded, if he did, isn't going to make any difference.
Also, a Chicago alderman accused of domestic battery is now headed to Indiana to participate in a counseling program. Councilman Ricardo Munoz appeared in court yesterday where the judge approved his travel across state lines for treatment. Hawks over the Bulls, 121-101 last night. Nate Reavers, 22, and Wisconsin's victory over the Fighting Illini, 72-60 in Champaign. Also in Big Ten hoops, DePaul lost to number 11 Marquette, and Missouri State hammered Loyola, 70-35. 7:04. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
36 days. That's how long it takes the average company to find their next hire. Glassdoor can help you quickly find the right job candidate in half the resumes. From 62 million job seekers, Glassdoor only matches you with qualified candidates who have the skills and experience your small business needs to grow. And Glassdoor hires are committed. They're 30% more likely to stay with your business longer. Go to glassdoor.com/hire. Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business.
When it comes to your identity and devices, there's no soundtrack to let you know you might be in danger. That's why you need LifeLock with Norton Security to look out for the silent threats of today's digital universe. No one can prevent all identity theft or cybercrime or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock detects threats to your identity, and Norton protects against online threats. Join now at LifeLock.com and use promo code NEWS to get an additional 10% off your first year.
Are you a fiduciary? If you're the owner or officer of a company sponsoring a corporate retirement plan, then you are a fiduciary. Why is this important? As a fiduciary, you may be held personally liable for breaches in your 401k plan. There has been a recent surge in lawsuits related to excessive fees and fiduciary breaches targeting 401k plans, their owners, and officers. One of our newest charity golf benefactors, Clear Financial Strategies, is your retirement plan CFO, bringing together a specialized fiduciary compliance and management team to help prevent potential lawsuits, all at competitive costs. Discover if your 401k contains any hidden fees or risks, and how Clear Financial Strategies is a registered investment advisor that's a true fiduciary. Professionals placing your interests first. I suggest you request Clear Financial Strategies custom report on company retirement plan risks. Visit my401krisks.com. That's my401krisks.com. Do it today, my401krisks.com.
Payroll, bookkeeping, month end. Are you feeling short-staffed? Account Temps can provide accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis when you need them to help with increased workloads. Call them today or visit AccountTemps.com. AccountTemps, a Robert Half company.
7:07, a check on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
The Veterans Memorial Tollway has heavy delays this morning northbound. The Army Trail Toll to 290. Northbound Lakeshore Drive is heavy. Balboa most of the way to Grand Avenue. A crash blocking 3 left lanes with several vehicles involved. Traffic's heavy on the outbound Edens Peterson to before Old Orchard. At least one lane is blocked. Reported hit and run. 42 minutes Montrose to Lake Cook inbound 26. Kennedy 36 minutes O'Hare to downtown outbound 33. Eisenhower 48 minutes 390 to downtown outbound 38. Stevenson 58 minutes 355 Lakeshore Drive outbound 37. Ryan is 27 minutes 95 to downtown. I-57 20 minutes I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford 40. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Service of AccountTemps, payroll, bookkeeping, month-end. Feeling short-staffed, AccountTemps can provide accounting and finance pros on a temporary or project basis. Call them today or visit AccountTemps.com. AccountTemps is a Robert Half company. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast comes from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Colder today, mostly cloudy with a high only 20. Partly cloudy, breezy, very cold tonight, low -5. Cloudy, cold day tomorrow with a high at 6 above. Intervals of clouds and sun on Saturday with a high near 13. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
It is 10 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. President Trump tweeting out late last night that State of the Union address is off.
It's over. Over.
Nothing is over. It's just postponed.
Yes.
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? No.
Okay,
the State of the Union postponed until the partial government shutdown is resolved. He said earlier in the day, Pelosi can't handle the truth, went full Colonel Jessup.
Well, we were planning on doing a really very important speech in front of the House and the Senate, the Supreme Court, and everybody else that's there. It's called the State of the Union. It's in the Constitution. We're supposed to be doing it, and now Nancy Pelosi, or Nancy as I call her, she doesn't want to hear the truth, and she doesn't want to hear, more importantly, the American people hear the truth. So we just found out that she's canceled it, and I think that's a great blotch on the incredible country that we all love. It's a great, great, horrible mark.
Trump added, I'm not looking for an alternative venue for the SOTU address because there is no venue that can compete with the history, tradition, and importance of the House chamber. Did Trump make the right call? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
No, I feel, and I know you hate this analogy because it's about sports, but you can only make sports analogies.
Correct. To sports analogies, to politics, sports metaphors, to politics.
Yeah.
Can only be made by me.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like Nancy Pelosi won. She sent the letter. We've read it. Again, I look forward to welcoming you to the House on a mutually agreeable date for this address when government has been reopened. So she has the upper hand in this. Pelosi won, Trump 0.
Let's work together on a mutually agreeable date when we can welcome you to the Capitol together with a State of the Union address.
But only until the shutdown is over.
And in the meantime, I would welcome you to burn in hell. That was sort of the parenthetical
Sincerely yours,
inference.
Warmest regards.
Yeah.
Nancy.
Yes.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
The postponing the State of the Union, I can understand if Trump was holding out for Pelosi to relent, although I think there should have been some contingency planning. But apparently there wasn't interest in contingency planning because he's not searching for an alternate venue.
Right.
And I think that's a mistake. Why not take the show to the border? Why not take the show to the state of Michigan that offered a venue, state of North Carolina, states that you need, regions that you need in 2020? Why not deliver a message in an untraditional, deliver a traditional speech in an untraditional venue? Why not? Why not throw some Greek columns up in Grant Park?
There you go.
Why be conventional? Your whole value prop is playing the outside game, taking on the ruling class Pauls, the tax-eating simps inside the Beltway, both parties. Why not take it to the streets? You're the populist. Why not make a populist play? The State of the Union is to be delivered to Congress.
Right. So deliver it to Congress, but then read it to the American people at a different venue.
That's the audience.
Right. But he's not doing that. And that's why I think he caved. He's got to have some other plan up his sleeve.
Perhaps, I don't know, but what would it be? I mean, people keep saying this. Oh, he's walking her into an ambush. Okay, well, what does that look like? I don't see it.
And by the way, programming note, we have canceled our Taste of Freedom event on Tuesday, January 29th. You will be getting your money back. So
yeah.
We're just letting you know that. Thanks a lot, Nancy. She ruined our party.
Well, you can.
She ruined our conservative.
Again, you can
Black
use
Panther
that
party.
money to buy us food, prizes, gifts. Otherwise, doesn't mean,
I'm going to my local school council meeting that night now. Yes.
It's exciting.
I am so excited. I've never spoken at one of those events.
He goes to the border. He goes to another venue, and he says, look, here's the problem. The people of this country sent me to Washington to effect paradigm shift on border security and on a range of other issues. I am doing what I said I would do, or attempting to do what I said I would do. You know what would even be nice? Since most politicians lose their humanity and they want to convey some air of infallibility. You know what? I should have pushed harder when Republicans were in control of Congress, both houses. That was my mistake. I made a mistake. I apologize for that. But it doesn't make the issue of border security any less pressing. Wall Street Journal reporting today, you got another caravan in the thousands making its way up from Honduras to the border. This is a real humanitarian crisis. It is a real border. It is a real security concern. The way we handle people trying to come into this country needs to be changed. And there's broad agreement on that. And there's also broad agreement that security is a key part of it. And the compromise I propose is comprehensive in its nature. And let me remind you what that is. Why not lay it all out? Lay bare your proposal, the basis for it, why you're proposing it. People buy the why, not the what, first. You got to explain the why, got to answer the why question. And leave Pelosi and Pagliacci and the Democrat socialists looking like the petty, craven, political power mongers that they are. I think it's such a huge, huge opportunity for the president. Convention is not going to win the day.
But it's not like him to sit on his hands either. That's why I'm a little...
Convention is not going to change the system. You are not going to achieve system change running it through Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi. I mean, is that not obvious? Hugh Hewitt was right. He had a commentary this week. Forget the specifics. It's just the idea. This is a moment for him to go big, not shrink. Carl in Temple, Texas. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Our president, with his experience, did the right thing. He took the high road, plain and simple. The tradition of the venue can't be Can't be changed.
Why not?
He took the high road.
Why can't it be changed?
Because that's what some things aren't supposed to change.
Well, it did change.
And that's one of them.
Well, the State of the Union
The
changed.
Constitution is not supposed to change.
No. This is not. It's not a constitutional requirement that you deliver the State of the Union in the House chamber, or that you deliver it or rhetorically at all. Through Jefferson,
It's like the tradition of Grandma's apple pie. That recipe better stay the same. The State of the Union better stay the same.
All right, thanks for the call,
yeah,
Carl.
First in American history where the House Speaker has not allowed the president to come and deliver the State of the Union.
So that's a change,
Because
isn't
she's
it?
in charge of the House, not my house.
So that's breaking.
That's the change.
That's breaking from tradition.
Yeah.
So she shuts down the State of the Union address in retaliation for the partial government shutdown over border security funding. We're going to hew to tradition for why? Is that the biggest, best play? There's nothing unconstitutional about what I'm advocating, or what was apparently under consideration until it wasn't. Another venue. Pat in Lockport, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yes, I am totally disappointed in our president that he's not going to do that State of the Union address. And I'm sick to death of that bitch Pelosi.
Whoa.
She's got another win up her sleeve that she's going to stick right in his ear, and she makes my stomach turn. That man better have a better plan to let her have it both barrels in return. That's all I've got to say.
All right, thanks, Pat. I'm glad Pat said ear. Arlene on the Northwest Side.
Yes, I have a quick question for you. Why weren't you and Amy invited to the White House with the rest of the talk show hosts? I mean, you're my favorite, so I didn't hear anything.
I know. I'm our favorites too.
Yeah,
thanks for
good
the
for you.
course.
Enough
call,
about me.
Arlene.
What do you think of me?
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't get. Yeah.
You know,
weren't you supposed to respond on behalf of the show?
Yeah, we're not big shots here. We're just local yokels. We're a couple of.
We're kicking it old school on a 5,000 watt AM station.
We're a couple of huckleberries in this,
blue collar
Midwestern
folks, if he
outpost.
knows what I mean.
This Midwestern outpost. This one horse town. Well, it's not like a Mike Gallagher. Hugh, we're not in that class.
Coming up next. Mike Gallagher's show is coming up next at 9:00.
Jeff in Dundee.
Hey, Amy. Why can't we bring the president to the belly of the beast and have him give his speech in Springfield?
Oh.
And if we can't get Cullerton or Madigan to go along with it, then we just get a big aircraft hangar down there at the Springfield Airport. What do you think?
All right, thanks for the call, Jeff. I don't know that.
I don't think Donald Trump ever wants to come to Illinois.
Yeah, I don't think he's a huge fan. Chicago's that Trump-free zone.
Yeah,
so.
don't you know? We took down the sign too. Okay, his honorary street sign.
Yeah.
We're really sticking it to him.
Michigan's though rolled out the red carpet.
Yeah.
Cindy and Joliet.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Hi, Amy. Here's the ambush from our wonderful president. He will let Nancy Pelosi and Schumer and her posse have the jet, take their trip to Afghanistan, and when they get there, pull the jet. Sorry, you can't come back.
Yeah, thanks, Cindy. I appreciate that.
Or she could take commercial.
Or
What's that?
they'll send him over to Afghanistan, and he's going to rush down to the House chamber to deliver the State of the Union
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go.
speech. Okay. Dennis in Crystal Lake.
Hey, Dan. I first and foremost, Dan, I'm using my money to take you, Sean, Big John, whoever you want to go, cigars and bourbon.
All right. Good.
And,
Why can't I go
second
with,
thing
Dennis? Dennis,
is where,
why
yes.
can't I go with? 'Cause I'm a
because
broad.
you're going to be hosting the president with you and your lib ladies up on North Shore.
Oh.
You get him a venue up there, and we'll give you kudos all you want. And one more thing, Dan.
Yeah.
I can't
Sure.
get enough of you saying the word broad.
Okay. I don't think I've ever said it, but okay. Thanks for the call, Dennis.
I just said
Maybe
broad.
I have. Maybe I have, but I mean in a joking,
non-threatening manner,
woman-affirming way.
Exactly.
Dennis,
that's just the way we like it.
Dennis is the reason people ask me if some of our callers are actually for real or we're staged. Are those real people calling? Or
are those?
No, it's real people.
Yeah.
Ralph in Rantoul's a real person too. Ralph.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Sorry about the voice here, but hey, look, Article
Kathleen
2,
Turner.
Section 3 of the Constitution says nothing about venue. I think, like other things, I'm hoping that the Donald will change his mind on this and do a presto changeo. But it says that he should give the president shall give the State of Union address from time to time, as he shall judge necessary. It says also, same sentence after the semicolon, he may on extraordinary occasions convene both houses or either of them. So this whole thing about abrogating, like somehow Nancy Pelosi has the keys to the chamber and the president doesn't have one, and so therefore she can lock him out. It's nonsense. It's political theater that I do not think should be allowed, because the president, in fact, does have more enumerated power in the Constitution than the Speaker. Give the address, pick the venue, let people know where it's going to be, what time it's going to be. If the Dems decide not to show up, Dan, your prescription about telling the why and then the what, educate the people. For every single time Donald has looked into the camera and has said, this is why we're doing this kind of stuff, he's been backed up. I would not allow Nancy Pelosi to dictate terms. Period.
Absolutely.
Full stop.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ralph.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Are your windows needy?
Call Crumweedy.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. If you need windows, call the exterior experts, Crumweedy. Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy run a third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland exteriors since 1953. For them, it's all about trust. They truly share your values. Why windows from Crumweedy? Crumweedy windows are not offered anywhere else in Chicagoland. They're exclusive. That's why they can offer a lifetime material and labor installation guarantee. Lifetime! That's a great investment for your home. Windows from Crumweedy are Energy Star rated, unlike most other windows. Also, the vinyl windows are 100% virgin vinyl. You're getting quality. Windows with a lifetime material and labor installation. If your windows are needy,
call Crumweedy.
630-595-8020. That's 630-595-8020. Just remember this, windowsareneedy.com. Windowsareneedy.com.
Another new year has come and gone. If you're a business owner and still haven't done anything about your company's network and computer system, then listen closely. You and your employees suffer every time something goes wrong with your network. And in most cases, it can take days to hire an IT person to fix it. Maybe you've been lucky and everything's running fine, but how long will that last? Whether you've experienced technical trouble or not, when you do, it costs your company money. But it doesn't have to. Don't wait for a crisis. Turnkey IT can help make 2019 the year you've prepared for anything technology throws your way. You'll be set up for success and get in front of the many technical issues that can overwhelm a business. Turnkey IT specializes in the preventative steps to keep you going. So get on it. For a limited time, get free lunch for the decision makers of your company when you have Turnkey do a complimentary network audit of your systems. Even if you have a current IT company, a second opinion never hurts. Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of your #1 home mortgage company, Townstone Financial. You asked for it and we brought it back. We once again can offer a 1% down payment program and you only need a 620 credit score to qualify. That means you don't need a lot of money or perfect credit to buy a house. Restrictions apply. Second, do you want to purchase a home but have too much student loan debt? Then listen closely. We have a non-occupying co-borrow program that allows a parent or a friend to co-sign the mortgage with you, which lets us use their income to help you qualify for a home purchase. It doesn't matter if you're searching for a jumbo mortgage, FHA, VA, or even a reverse mortgage. I guarantee nobody's going to beat Townstone's interest rates and low closing costs, and I own the company. So give us a call now at 312-896-2110. Remember, nobody values your home purchase and refinance business more than Townstone. That's 312-896-2110 or go to townstone.com.
Townstone Financial is licensed in Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida. NMLS 136639. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing lender.
Hey, as a listener to AM 560, I know you've heard them. Commercials for Balance of Nature. And after hearing all of those testimonials, many have asked me, does it really work? Are those true? Well, I met Dr. Howard and his family. He's the founder and creator of Balance of Nature. He showed me the emails. I listened to the voicemails that he gets on it every day from real people who are living healthier lives because they have been taking Balance of Nature. Look, we're all busy and very few of you, admit it, are eating enough fruits and veggies in your diet. And that's where Balance of Nature comes in. Real fruits and veggies, there's 30 of them. They pick them at the peak of freshness, then they're flash dried and ground into a powder. They put it into a capsule with absolutely no preservatives, no dyes, so it's easy to digest. And in a matter of days, you can start to notice a difference. Begin the new year by getting healthier with Balance of Nature. Get 35% off when you order by using promo code Chicago. Balanceofnature.com, promo code Chicago. Or call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
AM 560, The Answer.
Bad. You want me to sing it? All right, wow.
No,
I don't.
Don't want you to.
I don't even want you to look at me right now. Coming up
Do you know
on
who sings this?
George Thorogood.
Oh, you can't tell her.
I have a lifeline. It's Justin, who's 22 years old, who rode to work
he
on
doesn't
a
know who George
skateboard.
Thorogood is either.
He didn't know who Joe Namath was. Remember that?
And the Destroyers. Don't forget that.
Of course, the Destroyers.
It's all right. You're
Mr. Namath. Speaking, one of the best concerts I ever saw. George Thorogood opening for Buddy Guy at Ravinia.
yeah.
Top of the 8 o'clock hour. Buddy Guy gave $500,000 to Bob Fioretti.
Isn't that awesome?
I'm going to talk to the Chicago mayor's race.
Yep. And then later, those two aldermen, one is bad to the bone, or are both of they? But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
12 degrees. Dangerous cold weather set to hit Chicagoland tonight. The National Weather Service has posted a wind chill advisory going into effect at 6 p.m. for Cook, DuPage, and Will counties. A wind chill watch for Lake McHenry and Kane counties. Unions representing air traffic controllers, pilots, and flight attendants are warning that the ongoing government shutdown is a threat to air safety. Meantime, President Trump says when the partial government shutdown is over, he will deliver his State of the Union address then.
The State of the Union speech has been canceled by Nancy Pelosi because she doesn't want to hear the truth.
The president said he's considering other options for the address, but on Twitter last night, he says now he's not looking for an alternative site. Hostage situation at a bank in Central Florida has left 5 dead. Sebring Police Chief Carl Hoagland identified the suspect in the shooting.
What we do know right now is that the gentleman that's been taken into custody as a result of this is a gentleman by the name of Zephan Zaver. He's 21 years of age and lives here in Sebring.
A SWAT team entered the bank, located victims, and then took Xavier into custody. A SWAT team clearing the scene of a standoff on Chicago's south side where two suspects ran into a building after a chase and refused to come out for a time. Suspected gunman in the deadly Orland Park Mall shooting is in custody. Jakar Williams was arrested last night without incident in the south suburbs. Williams is accused in the shooting death of 18-year-old Javon Britton. Indicted Chicago Alderman Ed Burke still denying any wrongdoing, despite news he was secretly recorded by fellow Alderman Danny Solis.
I've done nothing wrong, and anything that Alderman Solis recorded, if he did, isn't going to make any difference.
Burke talked with reporters after the Sun-Times reported Solis was working with the FBI and secretly recorded conversations with Burke over the last couple of years. A stage musical featuring the life of the late Michael Jackson is coming to Chicago. Don't stop till you get enough. We'll play at the newly renamed James Nederlander Theater beginning in October. And you can add this morning free beer to the list of freebies for furloughed federal workers. You're going to have to drive for that free beer, however. Managers at the Pabst Tap Room yesterday in Milwaukee say they're offering the free suds to any federal worker who is off the job. Red, white, and blue for as long as the government is shut down. They're saying workers simply need to present their government ID. Hawks over the Bulls, 121-101. Nate Reavers, 22, and Wisconsin's Big Ten basketball win over Illinois, 72-60. The news, a service of Discover. Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. It includes your FICO credit score, and checking your scorecard won't hurt your credit. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply. 7:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's a fact. Workman's compensation makes companies less productive and less profitable. It becomes more complicated with every amendment by the legislature. It's an increasing burden on employers. It's important that your company identify the risks and do everything possible to minimize your exposure. For more than 3 decades, the firm of Spiegel and Cahill, a food for the poor business benefactor of AM 560, has effectively represented businesses and insurance companies in Illinois and Indiana with workman's compensation defense. The attorneys understand and are sympathetic to the real burden your company faces. They excel at helping you minimize the payouts and pursue alternatives to litigation. You'll work with one attorney, and the Spiegel and Cahill team is committed to being responsive and managing costs. To learn more or request a no-obligation workman's comp consultation, call Spiegel and Cahill, the workman's comp defense professionals in Hinsdale at 630-455-4070, or visit defendingbusinesses.com. That number again, 630-455-4070, or online at defendingbusinesses.com.
Guys, listen up. Brian Urlacher here. Yes, the one and only and formerly and famously bald Brian Urlacher. Well, not anymore. I went to Restore and tackled my balding, and now I'm loving my full head of hair. What about you? Yes, you. Are you going bald? Tired of trying to cover up your thinning hair with hats and comb-overs? Finding hair in the sink and shower? Restore is here to help. I went to Restore and had the Restore method done. The Restore FUE method is incredible. They took hairs one by one from the back of my head and placed them in my balding areas in front. It's state-of-the-art, quick, easy, and it's your hair. Restore gave me my hair back, and I love it. I feel better with hair, and I look younger. You don't have to go through life bald if you don't want to. So why wait? Go to Restore, tell them Brian Urlacher sent you, and tackle your balding for good.
So make a New Year's resolution to regrow your hair at Restore. Call 800-881-8585 today and get $500 off your new head of hair. That's 800-881-8585. Call 800-881-8585 now.
The most popular days to get engaged are Christmas, New Year's, and Valentine's Day. And guys, finding the perfect wedding venue can be harder to figure out than the color and quality of the perfect diamond. With love in the air, Avante Banquets is here to help you plan the wedding of your dreams for the party of a lifetime at a price right for you. Avante Banquets is part of the family-owned Chicago Prime Restaurants, with a picturesque location opened just last year near Barrington, providing fine American dining and a timeless experience. Avante is an exceptional space for your wedding or corporate events and fundraisers, for an intimate gathering, or parties of 500 or more. The calendar is filling up, so secure your date today at AvanteBanquets.com. That's AVANTE Banquets.com. with wedding packages starting at just $39 a person. Experience exceptional hospitality with the Calcunos family at Avante Banquets, because classic never goes out of style. AvanteBanquets.com. AvanteBanquets.com. Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
7:37. In the AM 560 traffic center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Metro reports delays on the Union Pacific Northwest line due to mechanical problems. Big jam on the outbound Edens, Montrose before Old Orchard. Right lane is blocked, wrecked, 58 minutes. Montrose to Lake Cook, about 22. Kennedy, 50 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 28 from Montrose, 25 on the Express. The Eisenhower's 58 minutes, 390 to downtown, 43 from Manheim. Stevenson an hour, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95 to downtown. Northbound Lakeshore Drive has delays. Balbo most of the way to Navy Pier. A multi-vehicle wreck has 2 left lanes blocked. Northbound Tri-State heavy from the Stevenson to 31st. Reagan till the way to the Eisenhower. Northbound Baton Rouge oil delays. 63rd most of the way to Lake. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte. On AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, cloudy and colder today, a high near 20. Partly cloudy, breezy, extreme cold could be dangerous overnight, a low of 5 below. Currently 10 above. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
They got the beat, the campus beat, the campus beat. Yeah, the campus beat.
Dan and Amy, a special edition of Campus Beat this morning. We have a guest.
We do?
Yeah. Ryan Bomberger from the Radiance Foundation. He recently spoke at Wheaton College. We discussed his appearance at Wheaton College because of how surprising it was. Wheaton College, an evangelical Christian college.
Yeah.
Wheaton College, the home of the Billy Graham Center.
Yeah.
Wheaton College, the home of the character contract. Smoke, drink, you shall not smoke, drink, dance, swear.
Right. It was the old Footloose when we were growing up.
Yes, and I'm from Wheaton, so I know a little bit
Yes.
about that too. And particularly thinking about the March for Life this weekend, 500,000 people dominating all of the PHAT marches combined. Thinking about this against the backdrop of the ghoulishness of not just our governor here, Spalding, trying to proclaim Illinois the most pro-abort state in the nation. Andrew Cuomo having One World Trade Center lit up in pink to celebrate the installation of infanticide in New York. That's what it is.
I know. It's bad.
Disgraceful. And here's the thing. Life is winning. The one issue on which cultural Marxists are in retreat, even as they're in full froth in New York over the last decade, abortion is down 25%. It doesn't mean Planned Parenthood has gone away. It doesn't mean they're not still getting taxpayer funds. It doesn't mean there aren't a lot of individuals and states like New York and Illinois surrendering. But around the nation, life is winning. And it was on display this weekend in Washington, D.C. And so you think that would encourage an institution like Wheaton College, where the sanctity of human life from conception to natural death is supposed to be preeminent in terms of their value system. That, not the experience Ryan Bomberger had at Wheaton College. Ryan Bomberger joins us now. Ryan, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's great to be with you this morning.
So we have one thing in common in that we were both adopted, but your adoption is really something. So before we get to what happened at the college, just a little bit of backstory on your story and what led you to be an activist in furtherance of human life.
Absolutely. You could say it just courses through my veins, having been adopted into a small family of 15. I have 6 brothers, 6 sisters, 10 of us were adopted.
Wow.
I was the first one, so obviously it went well. So they kept adopting year after
Good
year
job.
after year.
Way to make it easier for your siblings.
And yeah, and it's a party up in here. But, really amazing just to have a birth mom who chose to be courageous despite the horror and the violence of rape. So I'm that 1% that's used 100% of the time to justify abortion. So that's why I am particularly passionate about this. And now with my wife, Bethany, who's the co-founder of the Radiance Foundation, and our 4 children, 2 of our 4 are adopted as well. So it's who I am. I can't not be pro-life, passionately pro-life.
So you speak a lot about your story and about the work of the Radiance Foundation. So you're invited to Wheaton College to speak, and I would think you'd think, oh, well, this is sort of a home field. But it didn't quite turn out that way.
Not at all. In fact, it was surprising. I speak at a lot of different places. I do 60 events a year around the world. Places like Harvard, which was incredibly hostile, and Princeton University, Penn State, University of Notre Dame, the list goes on and on. I didn't think Wheaton would have this kind of response. So after I present a multimedia talk called Black Lives Matter In and Out of the Womb, 6 days after that, 2 Wheaton officials co-wrote, approved, and sent out an email signed by 3 student government leaders, and out of those 5, only 1 person actually even attended the presentation. But it denounced my whole presentation. It said it was filled with offensive rhetoric, and said that, quote, oh my goodness, students, staff, and faculty of color felt unheard, underrepresented, and unsafe on our campus, end quote. Yikes. So that was the response.
Unsafe. You happen to be a person of color, don't you?
Yes. I'm black and white. I'm biracial. Aren't we all colors, though? Come on.
Well, exactly. Truly. But I mean, did you experience anything like that when you were speaking at those totalitarian re-education camps in the Ivy League?
Not at all. In fact, even at Harvard, which was kind of an insane experience with all kinds of, LGBT activists, Planned Parenthood activists, reproductive justice activists, there was not this kind of response. One, they understand that there was obviously a huge difference of opinion, but they never sent out a campus-wide email denouncing me because I dared to actually present a pro-life perspective. But that wasn't the case here. Sent out to 2,400 students on Wheaton campus. They denounced me. They didn't give students a link to the presentation so they could come to their own reasoned conclusion. It was just a denouncement of me, the courageous college Republicans, and I want to praise those students because they're an amazing group of students. But that's all they did. They denounced. It wasn't as the school calls it, a peer-to-peer message. Is that what you call a campus-wide email? So it's just, and all Wheaton is not like this either. I'm not trying to typify all Wheaton like this, but the fact that Wheaton leadership failed to respond to this, failed to give the college Republicans any opportunity to present their side, it was an absolute failure in leadership and a lack of integrity.
What were their points of contention with your speech that you delivered? Did they outline what was offensive? Like break it down?
No, it's because I'm black and I don't embrace the Black Lives Matter movement. There was no specific allegation. Some of the students who were upset made up things that the Wheaton Record published, things that I never said. I mean, I'll give you an example. They said in a presentation that was about racism that I said that racism doesn't exist. Anybody who could watch the recorded presentation on Facebook can see I never said racism doesn't exist. It was the whole reason for the presentation, the systemic racism of the abortion industry that was birthed in eugenic racism. So what they couldn't do was actually argue against the presentation itself, so they just had to make up a narrative. And that's the shame of it all.
And there was an effort, as I understand it from reading about this, by you to have a discussion with the university administration, like the university president, senior leadership of the university, and that never materialized. Why is that?
Well, there was a phone conference scheduled, and shortly before that particular time, we asked to have one of our board members from the Radiance Foundation be on the call. It was an off-the-record call, but they refused. So at the last second, they said, we don't accept this unexpected change, and they canceled it. So they never followed through, so there's never been a conversation, unfortunately, with senior leadership. We made it a point to actually approach this with a Matthew 18 sort of style of conflict resolution. We didn't go public with any of this for over 2 weeks because we wanted to actually speak to leadership to have them understand what was so wrong about all this, and they just never actually had a conversation with us. And so And unfortunately, the college Republicans are the ones who are dealing with this aftermath on campus. They've had their event canceled for this month. They're not allowed to have another speaker until at least March.
Really?
So they've done nothing wrong. I presented a biblically based, a fact-driven, grace-filled presentation, and somehow they're the ones being punished, and it's just upside down.
What was the reaction to the students who actually attended your speech?
Oh, we had hundreds of emails and DMs and voicemails from students who were at the presentation, praising the presentation, Wheaton parents, some of whom were actually at the presentation as well, some faculty, alumni who were extremely upset by the school's reaction to this and the school leadership's failure to actually correct the wrong. I mean, to demonize a fellow Christian evangelical who is addressing race and abortion, which has never been addressed on that campus, by the way. You've not had a speaker come to Wheaton College and actually deal with race and abortion and talk about Planned Parenthood and its history and its present devastation in the black community, where abortion rates are up to 5 times higher. And yet they demonize the one person who actually gets invited to campus. It's such a poor reflection on the Christian education that happens there. But it's actually, I think, emblematic of what happens on Christian campuses across the country, the embrace of the secular over the divine.
I mean, it's stunning. I went to Wheaton College Crusader basketball camp for 6 years growing up. The last time I was on campus at Wheaton College was to see C.S. Lewis play about C.S. Lewis. But we reached out, by the way, to the university administration to come on the show to address what happened as well. They chose not to do that. Of course they didn't. I would love to get an answer to the question, what do you think C.S. Lewis would have to say about Ryan Baumberger's speech, about his organization, about his position, about life, as compared to the approach that the administration has taken to satisfy, apparently, I'm very familiar with social justice Catholics as a Catholic, apparently social justice evangelicals on campus at Wheaton College.
Well, here's really the crux of the issue, and that is there is such an emphasis on diversity. I'm all about diversity, but God has to be first, and things have to flow from that. And so what ends up happening is they deify diversity. And that's why you would have this kind of reaction that how dare someone who's brown come to campus and not embrace a secular movement. My challenge to the students was the church should be leading on these issues of racial justice. Why do we embrace a deeply divisive, deeply dishonest, pro-abortion, anti-fatherhood, pro-LGBTQ movement in order to fight for racial justice? We have it backwards. The church should be leading on this. We should not be embracing a secular movement that is hostile, undeniably hostile to a Christian worldview.
Would you ever approach?
And that just wasn't acceptable.
Would you ever approach Wheaton officials again and ask if you could speak on campus?
I had a great conversation actually yesterday with Ed Stetzer, who's the director of the Billy Graham Center. He obviously had some differences of opinion with me on all this because I brought up the fact that Dr. George Yancey spoke on that campus with a pornographic, profane, it was the foulest speech I've heard on a Christian or secular campus. And the Radins Foundation posted the audio of that, which is completely unacceptable. The whole premise of his speech was that all whites are racist. All whites are racist. There was nothing redeeming about that entire speech, and Ed actually agreed with that. But my challenge was, how in the world do you not publicly denounce Dr. Yancey, who's from Emory University, not to be confused with another Dr. Yancey, Yancey, who was a Christian apologist, an amazing man, different people. How do you not publicly denounce him, but you will publicly denounce me? And the challenge was, well, it wasn't a public denouncement. I think sending out an email to about 2,500 students makes things public. And so just the difference in how they handled those things. And as I mentioned before, with the college Republicans, they have been trying to get the administration to send out an email campus-wide to reflect their perspective, to give a link to the presentation, and have students understand from their perspective what actually happened. But they're refusing the students that right to be able to express themselves. A student government that supposedly reflects and represents all students isn't representing the minority students who are the vice president, the president, a Hispanic and an Asian student who, I guess their minority experience doesn't matter. Their perspective doesn't matter.
I would be fascinated to hear the response from the Billy Graham Center director as to what Billy Graham might have to say about your remarks, or maybe enlist Franklin Graham to see if Billy Graham's name still belongs at Wheaton College. I don't know, but I mean, I don't even understand what their argument is actually with respect to what you say. And the Radiance Foundation, I mean, you can go on their website and look at your work product and look at what you do, and go on YouTube and watch the speeches you've given. So the sort of the shock of your views, which shouldn't be new to people of faith and the conversation about life, I mean, I just don't even get it.
Well, this, again, is where is there a Christian worldview, a biblically sound worldview that's being taught? And part of the reaction to this is because of Black liberation theology that seeps into these theology classes on these campuses. And Wheaton isn't the only one where this happens. And that's why you get these students who have this mentality, this perspective. I mean, when one of the students, Sammy Shields, one of the signers of the letter denouncing me, he asked me after the 30-minute Q&A, and then there was another 40 minutes of discussion, shouldn't whites be accountable for their corporal sin? I said, well, aren't we all sinners? Haven't we all fallen short of the glory of God? I said, I don't understand. He said, well, in the context of slavery. He said, well, in the context of slavery, what about the white abolitionists? Should they be held accountable for corporal sin? What about the black individuals who enabled the transatlantic slave trade? Should they be held accountable for sin? What about the freed slaves who didn't just try to rescue next of kin out of slavery, but actually owned slaves and profited from the slave trade here in America? Should they be held accountable? And so the mentality is always at us versus them.
Well, and also
so destructive.
But also, too, what does this have to do with the incidence of abortion in the black community today? What is the position? You want fewer black children? I don't understand.
Dan, that wasn't even a question. And the post Q&A discussion that was so hostile toward me, they didn't even raise it. There wasn't even one single question about abortion. And what ends up happening with this whole issue, this whole situation, is that the real victims, the unborn black lives and the mothers and the fathers who are devastated by the destruction of abortion, they're no longer the victims. It's now the students and the staff and the faculty of color who are unsafe. They're now the victims. And that's the tragedy in all of this, that it's not any longer about the destruction of those made in the image of God. It's now about this trumped up sort of overreaction because someone has a different perspective and a different opinion than you.
Oh.
And that, to me, is the tragic part of all.
Well, and the additional tragedy, if it's happening on the campus of Wheaton College, then there's almost no place that, to borrow a phrase from the left, is safe. At least, safe for something resembling academic freedom and the pursuit of intellectual advancement. He is Ryan Bomberger. He is the founder of the Radiance Foundation, which you should check out. And if he comes to a university near you, you should go check out what he has to say as well. Ryan, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
It was great to talk to you. Thanks.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, and I help business owners, 1099 employees, and those with unfiled tax returns solve their IRS problems. And I'm also the host of the IRS Radio Hour.
And I'm Jim Leahy, the co-host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here every Sunday evening at 5 on AM 560.
The Answer. I know you want a local attorney you can look in the eye and hold accountable for solving your IRS problem, not some big box outfit without a Chicago connection. So today we have a special offer. A good night's sleep.
A good night's sleep? Are you trying to give away a pillow?
Great guess, Jim. But no, I want to help people solve the problems that are keeping them up at night. If you fear the IRS will take away your money, freeze your bank account, garnish your wages, visit your home or job, and now they can take away your passport, you need to hire me to solve your IRS problem for good.
Call attorney Stephen Leahy, your Chicago IRS answer man at 312-664-6649, 312-664-6649, and get the IRS out of your business and your life for good.
Another new year has come and gone, and if you're a business owner and still haven't done anything about your company's network and computer system, then listen up. You and your employees suffer every time something goes wrong with your network, and in most cases, it can take days to hire an IT person to fix it. Maybe you've been lucky and everything's running fine, but how long will that last? Whether you've experienced technical trouble or not, when you do, it's cost your company money, but it doesn't have to. Don't wait for a crisis. Turnkey IT can help make 2019 the year you've prepared for anything technology throws at you. You'll be set up for success and get in front of the many technical issues that can overwhelm a business. Turnkey specializes in the preventative steps to keep you going. So get on it for a limited time, free lunch for the decision makers of your company when you have Turnkey do a complimentary network audit of your systems. Even if you have a current IT company, a second opinion never hurts. Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I was diagnosed with peripheral neuropathy and some other issues. Finally, my internist, through a bunch of tests and colonoscopy, I won't bore you with the details, found out that my system doesn't produce enough acid to break food down enough where I get the B12 benefit out of it. So I went on shots once a month, which my wife, who's a nurse, can give me, but I was still pretty lethargic. I was just telling my wife last night, I said, you know what? I feel fantastic. This Balance of Nature really gives me energy beyond anything else I've ever taken.
Use discount code CHICAGO for 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies with free shipping. This offer is going to end between now and February, so act fast. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Attention! This is a special announcement to Americans struggling with $10,000 or more in credit card debt, personal loans, collection accounts, or medical bills. Call National Debt Relief right now to see if you qualify for the Debt Reset Program. With this program, your debt balance and monthly payments may be reduced while you become debt-free in just 24 to 48 months. Avoid decades of painful minimum credit card payments and the serious consequences of bankruptcy. National Debt Relief has already helped more than 100,000 Americans become debt-free, is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and has received more than 30,000 five-star reviews. Call National Debt Relief now to speak to a certified debt relief specialist to see if you qualify for the Debt Reset Program. There are no upfront costs, and they don't earn a penny until your debt is successfully resolved. Call 800-643-2747. 800-643-2747. That's 800-643-2747.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
He tells his fellow Americans the State of the Union can wait. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump delays it. Exactly what House Speaker Nancy Pelosi wanted. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
President Trump making a rare public retreat after trying to defy Speaker Pelosi's request that he delay delivering his State of the Union address in the House next week. The president writing on Twitter, "I will do the address when the shutdown is over. I am not looking for an alternative venue for the address because there is no venue that can compete with the history, tradition, and importance of the House chamber." The president adding, "I look forward to giving a great State of the Union address in the near future." Dave?
John, the president also tweeted about the wall as the Senate considers two plans today to reopen the government. One would fund the wall, the other would not. Both are expected to fail day 34 of the shutdown. A new Fox poll has more people giving the president a thumbs down.
Approval stands at 43%. That's down about 3 points since December, and it marks the lowest approval in nearly a year.
Fox polling director Dana Planton, an AP poll gives the president just a 34% approval. A 21-year-old in court in Florida the day after a bank standoff that left 5 people dead. Fox's Eben Brown live in Sebring.
Dave, Zephan Zaver made his first appearance before a judge just now here. It was via video conference from the jail. The judge appointed the suspected gunman a public defender, and due to his being charged with 5 murders, the court will not allow Zaver to post bond. No plea was entered yet. Later this morning, police will brief the public. They might reveal the identities of the 5 victims, but in such a small town as Sebring, people know who is absent, Dave.
And fewer Americans needed unemployment checks for the first time since 1969. The number of first-time jobless claims last week fell under 200,000, 199,000. This is Fox News.
Partly sunny skies, chilly, 12 degrees above at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. National Weather Service says frigid temps are around for a while as a wind chill advisory goes in effect at 6 p.m. for Cook, DuPage, and Will counties, and a wind chill watch for Lake McHenry and Kane counties during the same time period. The suspected gunman in the deadly Orland Park Mall shooting is in custody. Police tell us Jakar Williams was arrested last night without incident in the south suburbs. A Naperville police officer shot a man who authorities say pointed a gun at officers. Police responding to a call of a suspicious person around 10:30 last night at a strip mall along Ogden Avenue near River Road. The DuPage County State's Attorney's Office is investigating. Chicago priest is not guilty of allegations of misconduct involving a minor. Father Gary Graff was acquitted yesterday in a bench trial after the Illinois Department of Family Services investigation found no credible evidence to support accusations of child abuse or neglect. Chicago sports was the Hawks over the Bulls last night at the UC, 121-101. Nate Reavers, 22, in Wisconsin, 72-60 college hoops win over Illinois. In the Big East, DePaul lost to number 11 Marquette. In the Valley, Missouri State hammered Loyola, 70-35. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Carlos Ghosn, the former chairman of Nissan, is now also out at Renault. He is in jail in Japan awaiting trial on charges of financial misconduct at Nissan. Reuters says Ghosn has resigned as both chief executive and chairman at Renault. Ford's business was weaker than expected at the end of last year, including an expense related to its pension plans. Ford lost money. Without that expense, Ford made a profit, though it was weaker than Wall Street was expecting. BuzzFeed is cutting jobs, approximately 15% of its workforce. The cuts are expected to result in as many as 250 jobs being eliminated. The cuts are believed to be a step toward finding a merger partner. Southwest Airlines is reporting a better-than-expected profit in its recent quarter, though it's not flying as many passengers as planned. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and you'll have to wait until spring to get the outside of your house painted, but winter, perfect opportunity to get your interior painted. You know, people walk into my kitchen and ask, Amy, did you get new cabinets? No, I save myself thousands of dollars by simply having them painted by the experts at CertaPro Painters. So cross the first project off your 2019 to-do list. CertaPro Painters will ensure a beautiful transformation of your home. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered. In-home with a color consultation or online with their color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Some job recruitment sites overload your inbox with resumes. Glassdoor knows not just any will do. From 62 million job seekers, Glassdoor only matches you with qualified candidates who have the skills and experience your small business needs to grow. In fact, Glassdoor hires are 30% more likely to stay with your company longer. And Glassdoor can help you find that perfect candidate in half the resumes. Go to glassdoor.com/hire. Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business.
When it comes to your identity and devices, there's no soundtrack to let you know you might be in danger. That's why you need LifeLock with Norton Security, to look out for the silent threats of today's digital universe. No one can prevent all identity theft or cybercrime or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock detects threats to your identity, and Norton protects against online threats. Join now at LifeLock.com and use promo code NEWS to get an additional 10% off your first year.
Dan Proft here, and I want to tell you about a pro-life organization that's very near and dear to me, Aid for Women. Did you know that 1 out of 4 pregnancies in Cook County ends in abortion? Aid for Women is fighting the abortion battle on the front lines. 5 pregnancy care centers and 2 maternity homes in the Chicago area. Because of the passage of House Bill 40 in Illinois, women on Medicaid can get abortions on demand, free of charge throughout the state. As a result, while Planned Parenthood and the abortion industry are closing clinics throughout the rest of the country, they're actually expanding in Illinois. Women can even come here from out of state to get free abortions, all on Illinois taxpayers' dime. We cannot let the abortion industry take over our local communities. Few people know that pro-life pregnancy centers exist to accompany women in unexpected pregnancies. For more than 40 years, Aid for Women has helped women choose life. Your support is vital, and together we will save lives. Go to helpaidforwomen.org and commit today to more actively live out your pro-life convictions. Again, the website helpaidforwomen.org. Please help Aid for Women save lives in Illinois.
It's 8:07, and let's check your roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Veterans Memorial Tollway northbound traffic is stop and go from 75th to the Reagan Tollway and Roosevelt to Lake Street due to a crash. Eastbound Reagan Tollway has delays, 31 to Wyola and Naperville Road to 355. On northbound Tri-State at 70th, Mile Long Bridge 31st, Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve, southbound O'Plain to Bradley. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 55. Crash before Old Orchard has the right shoulder block. Kennedy, an hour and 10 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 44 minutes from Montrose, 35 on the Express. Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes, 390 to the Bird Circle. Crash at Western of the two left lanes. Stevenson, an hour, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast comes to us from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Steve Williams.
Today, mostly cloudy, colder, and a high at 20. Partly cloudy, breezy, and cold. Tonight, low -5. Clouds and cold for tomorrow, and a high only 6. Cold day Saturday, intervals of clouds and sun, high 13. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
10 at O'Hare, 15 along the lakefront. It is 6 above in Aurora. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Don't look now. I don't know how to break it to you.
What?
It turns out that Ed Burke may not be the only bad apple in Chicago. I'm just saying. Danny Solis, who announced his retirement late last year from the city council.
And didn't we wonder why he was retiring?
Well, I mean, right, especially tender age of 70.
Oh, I know.
So young.
I know.
So much of a
potential.
political career ahead of him. Yeah. And we do say retired because, of course, these offices are conferred like possessions. So you retire, you don't get removed from office by the electorate. You decide when you're done in public service on the city council. Danny Solis wearing a wire for the last 2 years.
Yeah, and he announced that he was not running, Dan, for re-election a week before federal agents raided Ed Burke's office and home, or offices, I should say. So...
Solis apparently had drawn the attention of the feds, and so he decided to try to advance the feds' interest in Ed Burke because, of course, the whole thing is a den of thieves. Oh, meanwhile, over at the ranch on Cook County, the Cook County side, Tony is in a little bit more trouble with her relationship with Ed Burke, despite pretending to be aghast at what he's accused of, because the Burke kid that she hired was facing misconduct allegations at the Cook County Sheriff's Office of a sexual nature before she found a sinecure form over a county. Now, I know this is the kind of stuff that we like to talk about in the context of electoral politics because it's salacious, it's personality-driven, it's sort of plays to the low expectations you have of the Chicago political class. But there is this other thing about a policy discussion that we could have, and some candidates are having to various degrees, most notably Paul Vallis, about what Chicago should do to address these seemingly intractable problems that are having a real material effect, mainly negative, on the lives of the 2.8 million residents in Chicago, when it comes to safety on the west and south side, or it comes to property taxes, no matter where you live, or it comes to job opportunities or the quality of the infrastructure or how much of a magnet it is or is not for entrepreneurial activity. Sort of big issues that probably should be discussed by at least some of the 14 candidates. And I note this because in a race to 15% with 14 candidates, and it really is that close, you could have some surprises on February 26th. The Republican vote is in play. For the first time since Bronco Nagurski and Red Grange constituted the backfield of the Chicago Bears, you have a Republicans, conservatives votes matter.
Yeah.
And so we're hosting with the Northwest Side GOP Club, Chicago City Wire Northwest Side GOP Club, hosting a candidate forum this Saturday, 2:30 p.m. at St. Monica's. That's 5136 North Nottingham, northwest side of the city. 2:30 p.m. candidate forum, specifically for candidates who are interested in appealing to center-right voters. So far confirmed Paul Vallis, Jerry Joyce, Willie Wilson, Bob Fioretti, LaShawn Ford, John Kozlar. All are welcome. So just want a little scheduling note. And in terms of advancing that policy discussion, we also have a timely new book that's been written and released by Ed Bachrach and Austin Berg. It's called The New Chicago Way, Lessons from Other Cities. And Ed Bachrach and Austin Berg join us now. Ed and Austin, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.
So,
Thanks, Dan.
So Ed, let's start with you because it's an interesting team, you and Austin. You're somebody who had a very successful career in retail. You remember the Bachrach stores, like at Yorktown? Yeah, I used to buy clothes from there.
And I've had a very unsuccessful career in public policy. So
exactly. So one success, one lack. No, Austin Berg at the Illinois Policy Institute, more of a policy wonk. So the coming together of these two minds and backgrounds. But Ed, starting with you, just you're a successful businessman. You could, kind of ride off into the sunset and enjoy your life. Why have you decided to make trying to advance the discussion of big policy ideas for the big policy problems Chicago faces?
Well, I was raised, and I'm the kind of person that when you see a problem, if you have any skills or anything you can contribute to solving it, you should. You don't just complain about it. And most people subscribe to what we call the simple Chicago political theory. Everyone's corrupt. Nothing can be done. Throw your hands up and walk away.
But this is the first chance in our lifetime that we could maybe see things change if voters do the right thing in February.
It's going to take a lot more than that.
Really? What's it going to take?
Yeah, so the premise of our book is that it's just not out with the old rascals and in with the new rascals. There is something fundamentally wrong with the structure of Chicago government. And whereas 120 years ago, in the turn from the 19th to the 20th century, every major city had a strong mayor and an autocratic government. Over the past 12 decades, most other cities have reformed. They've gone through a number of different processes whereby they've distributed power and they set up professional practices for good governance. There's one city that hasn't. It's Chicago. It's stuck back 120 years ago.
Well, Bill Daley's proposing a structural change. He wants to reduce the number of aldermen from 50 to 15. Is that the kind of change you're talking about, or is it something a bit more profound?
Well, yes.
In terms of city council, I would say it's much more profound than simply cut. We should cut the number of aldermen. The average constituent per council member among the biggest cities is around 117,000. The average in Chicago is around 55,000. And look at a city like Los Angeles. When you're an alderman who has over 250,000 constituents on average, you're not the guy in charge of the garbage cans. It's impossible. But where in Chicago there's so few constituents per alderman that they're the administrative intake points. They take care of you if you need your sidewalk permit. They take care of you if you need an awning. They take care of you if you need anything rezoned. And corruption is inevitable in that system. It also makes for very weak legislators who have no understanding or concern for issues, any citywide issues whatsoever. So you need to change the responsibilities that aldermen have, along with the number of them.
But Ed, what I understand from the many candidates that we've interviewed is that, look, you legalize your dope, more casinos, maybe throw some slots at the airport too, and you're on your way to shaping up the books and making Chicago prosperous again.
Yeah, that's what they would like for you to think. But it's a lot more complicated than that. And back to your concept of reform. Here's what real reform looks like. You have to, the big picture is you have to strengthen the city council and separate it structurally from the mayor. The mayor should not be presiding at city council meetings. That doesn't happen in other big cities. Second of all, you need to create two very strong elected offices that are now reporting to the mayor. A chief financial officer, which many other cities have, including the top 4 cities out by population. We also need an elected city attorney. We don't need the disgraced law department reporting to the mayor. So those are 3. But the umbrella over all of these is a city charter. We need to have a city constitution that tells how every aspect of government works, from the city council to elections to finances to schooling to policing. And it's all determined by lay people, not public officials. It's not a council ordinance, and it's approved by voters. That's what other big cities do. And when we talk to people in Chicago about it, they never heard of a charter.
Yeah, no, I have. I mean, it sounds so simple and so feasible. But of all these, 14 candidates now that Dorothy Brown's been kicked out off the ballot, is anybody prescribed to that system? Does anybody promote that system that you're talking about?
We haven't heard any.
So what we've been talking about is that whether it's Mother Teresa or Pericles in charge of the city, if they win the mayoral election, the outcomes are unlikely to change. You have to have a city charter that reforms the nature of the power of that office, or whoever inhabits it will be doomed to fail. So we have heard candidate Daley did mention the C word. He said the word charter, but he didn't. It wasn't really elaborated upon in any real way. I think it's if a mayoral candidate would like to stand out among the field and start a very important discussion that will outlive their candidacy, I would strongly recommend they talk about a charter. It's a very populist idea. Voters should approve it. Lay experts should debate it. That's how it's done in other cities. It's not some crazy new idea. This is the way almost all big cities and medium-sized cities are governed in America.
Yeah, that's Austin. That's the thing I like about this book. Lessons from other big cities, the New Chicago Way, lessons from other big cities. So this is not like a laboratory experiment. This is things that other cities are actually doing. So if it's feasible in L.A. or New York, then why wouldn't it be feasible in Chicago? I mean, Ed Burke liked to adopt every idiotic idea that emanated out of New York. Why not adopt some of the good ones? And so in addition to sort of setting the foundation with a charter, what are some other big lessons from other big cities that could be applied to the benefit of Chicago families? Austin, or Ed, either way.
Of course.
Austin,
yeah, we have. The book is chock full of ideas. There's plenty we can learn from other big cities. One of the really, really simple comparisons we make with Los Angeles is around the budget. So Los Angeles has 50% more people than Chicago. It also has twice the land area of Chicago, and they have a lot of fires there. They actually have real fires in Los Angeles. And yet, Chicago and Los Angeles pay the same amount for their police department and for their fire department. So why is that? And we always hear, especially when it's reported upon, and we use a lot of great reporting in the book, but this is where I have one bone to pick. If any mayoral candidate talks about adding police officers, the context is never given that Chicago spends so much more on its police department specifically than a city like Los Angeles. And yet our outcomes are horrendous. We had a homicide rate in 2016 that was around 5 times higher than the combined rate of LA and New York City. So there are changes that we examine, especially in Los Angeles, around policing that can be of great service to Chicago. And not just around policing. That's just one issue.
Well, what is the difference? Why are we paying the same as you described for in a much smaller place with a much worse outcomes?
One of the reasons is that in Chicago, since the mayor has so much power, there's cross-compromise. A teacher strike affects the police union contract. The police contract affects the fire contract because it's one guy handling all of these deals. In LA, the mayor's office has been almost completely divorced from the police commission. Look at Chicago, where how did Eddie Johnson become police superintendent? Well, Gary McCarthy was fired. The city council was supposed to appoint a new police commissioner. They suspended the rules for one day so that Rahm Emanuel could just pick his own candidate and Eddie Johnson gets in. That is not the norm in other big cities. LA also had an incredible reform following the Rodney King riots, where they have an independent police commission that investigates all these things. They have a peace officer's bill of rights, so that things like disciplinary procedure, things like this are not included in a collective bargaining agreement. They're not bargained over. They're set in state law. Those are just a couple.
And I don't think you can run the city like a business, but I think you can apply business principles to the city. And so, some of the candidates, particularly those from the west side, south side, talking about a Marshall Plan for the areas of the city that are not doing well economically, highest black unemployment rate in the country in any major city. How do you respond to the challenge to make to make the rest of the city more attractive to entrepreneurs, business location, capital formation than it is currently?
Well, that's a very complicated question, but I want to start off by saying that the city of Chicago and its services, what it does for its people, has been mispriced. Because of borrowing, it's been giving away city government for 80% off for the past 20 years, and that's why the debt just keeps running up. And people talk about economic development because there's no accountability for it. There's no evidence that a city government can actually cause the economy to improve. Meanwhile, the city they're changing the subject. That's really what they're trying to do. They don't have an answer for what they're going to do about city finances, so they talk about investing. They don't have any money to invest, and so that's what happens. But we do know that if you take a city that becomes attractive, that manages its finances, reduces its spending, and loosens regulation, businesses will flock there. Why is Chicago the only one of our top 15 cities that's declining in population? All the rest of them are growing.
Because of the taxes and property taxes.
And lack of opportunity.
Yeah.
But still, the taxes are, and I agree with the fact that they're high, but they're still half of what they should be.
Well,
there's
speaks to the scope of government, is what you're saying.
It's the scope of government, right?
And so, speaking of that, sort of the pressing issue of scope of government and spend, police and fire unfunded pension liabilities that are approaching $40 billion, less than 25% funded, both of them, death spiraling. And so, what do you do about that?
When you have a problem and you're digging a hole, the first thing you do is you stop digging. So somebody's got to step up and say, we have proven for the past 50 years that we, as a city, are incapable of offering a defined benefit retirement plan for our employees. And we're going to stop that. And there are many ways to stop it. And it doesn't take a constitutional amendment. All you have to do is pass an ordinance or state law, or both, that creates Tier 3, that is a defined contribution or some other form of retirement benefit. Yeah. So you stop digging that hole. And then you got to really attack spending. Back to what Austin was talking about, the comparison with L.A., which, L.A. is not some anarchy where they don't have any government at all. It is a heavily democratic, heavily union town. But if we just had parity with L.A., the city of Chicago would save $650 million a year just in police and fire protection.
The only other thing I would add to that, structurally on the pension problem, we talk about sort of revenue and spending side stuff there, but the structural side is right now, Chicago, we examined 3 fiscal firewalls, we call them. So the 3 things are you have an independently elected controller that's adversarial with the mayor. You have robust city council involvement in the budgeting process. You don't have sort of a clown car. You don't have Ed Burke running the finance committee for 30 plus years. And then you have some kind of voter fiscal constraints. You have voter approval of new taxes or new debt in some form. Chicago is the only city among the top 15 that has none of those 3. And we were harping on LA. LA has all those 3. Houston has all of those 3. Philly has all of those 3. And then we wonder why, we have so much debt per capita more than every other city.
The book is The New Chicago Way, Lessons from Other Big Cities. Unfortunately, neither Ed Bachrach or Austin Berg is running for mayor, but they've got a lot of good ideas for the next mayor. The New Chicago Way, Lessons from Other Big Cities, available at Amazon. And also, programming note, both Ed and Austin will be at the Union League Club for lunch next Wednesday to expound on their book and their ideas in more detail. Ed, Austin, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck with the book. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ed.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
History will look back at President Trump as the president who defined leadership. He's already passed the first major tax reform in 30 years, and unemployment's at an 18-year low. Jobless claims are the lowest since 1973, while the Dow celebrates its highest levels ever. Now, to celebrate these milestone achievements of our 45th president, Noble Gold has minted an exclusive collector's piece, the 2020 President Trump Freedom Coin. One side depicts an image of Donald J. Trump, while the other side lists all his major achievements. This commemorative 1-ounce coin is the only presidential Trump coin made of 99.9% silver, not silver plating, and is IRA approved. As the price of silver rises, so will the value of these coins. Go to TrumpCoin2020.com and use code MikeG or text MikeG to 511-511, and when you buy 3 or more, receive free shipping. Go to TrumpCoin2020.com for the Silver 2020 President Trump Freedom Coin, available for a limited time only. Go to TrumpCoin2020.com today. Standard text rates may apply.
So, Dan, is one of my New Year resolutions. I'm trying to get financially fit. So I took a free class over there at Online Trading Academy in Lombard. And during the course, a very nice gentleman came up to me and said, hey, I've been taking Balance of Nature. So has my wife for the last 5 years. And I said, well, how's your health? Have you noticed a difference? And he said, well, you know what? In 5 years, I don't feel like I've aged a bit. And that's what Balance of Nature can do. It could add vital nutrients, fruits and vegetables that people are missing in their diets. People are missing at mealtime. Balance of Nature is packed with 30 fruits and vegetables, picked at the peak of freshness, then flash dried, ground into a powder, put into a capsule, no preservatives. It's easy to digest, and in a matter of days, you can start to notice a difference. Begin the new year by getting healthier with Balance of Nature and get 35% off when you order by using promo code Chicago. So go to balanceofnature.com. Put Chicago in that promo code, and voila, 35% off. Or call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751, balanceofnature.com.
Guys, listen up. Brian Urlacher here. Yes, the one and only and formerly and famously bald Brian Urlacher. Well, not anymore. I went to Restore and tackled my balding, and now I'm loving my full head of hair. What about you? Yes, you. Are you going bald? Tired of trying to cover up your thinning hair with hats and comb-overs? Finding hair in the sink and shower? Restore is here to help. I went to Restore and had the Restore method done. The Restore FUE method is incredible. They took hairs one by one from the back of my head and placed them in my balding areas in front. It's state-of-the-art, quick, easy, and it's your hair. Restore gave me my hair back, and I love it. I feel better with hair, and I look younger. You don't have to go through life bald if you don't want to. So why wait? Go to Restore, tell them Brian Urlacher sent you, and tackle your balding for good.
So make a New Year's resolution to regrow your hair at Restore. Call 800-881-8585 today and get $500 off your new head of hair. That's 800-881-8585. Call 800-881-8585 now.
Hi, can I help you? Yes, I have a snoring problem. Can you describe it for me, please? Well, it's about 5'11" with curly hair and a mustache. I see.
Introducing Mute, sleep technology that opens the nose to increase airflow by an average of 38% so you and your partner can enjoy a good night's sleep. Mute. Breathe more, snore less, sleep better. Available now at Walgreens, CVS and GNC.
I'm Amy Errett, founder and CEO of Madison Reed, a company that's revolutionizing the way women color their hair, a company I named after my daughter. Madison Reed is the ultimate hair color hack. The quality of a salon, the convenience and affordability of at-home hair color, and an ammonia-free formula with ingredients you could feel good about. Find your perfect shade at madison-reed.com and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first purchase. Use code RADIANTHAIR.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I got a new side hustle, ghostwriting for people on online dating apps. Dating apps.
Dating
I guess online dating apps is redundant.
So that's what you're doing now?
How old am I? Yeah, that's what I'm doing on the side.
Uh-huh.
I'll give you some of my offerings at 8:38.
And lady, get a backbone. We'll explain, but first into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Partly sunny, 12 degrees, dangerously cold weather settling in. A wind chill advisory goes into effect at 6 p.m. tonight, lasting until noontime tomorrow in Cook, DuPage, and Will counties. A wind chill watch for Lake McHenry and Kane counties. President Trump says he'll make his State of the Union address when the government shutdown is over. Meantime, as the shutdown enters day 34, the Senate will vote reportedly on the president's proposal to end the stalemate and other proposals before it. A man accused of killing 5 at a bank in Sebring, Florida, is making his initial court appearance.
Mr. Zaver, as I stated, you have 5 counts of felony capital murder. Based on it being a capital offense, the court is going to hold you without bond. Good luck, sir.
21-year-old Zephan Zaver, a former corrections officer trainee, was dressed in prison stripes before he was called before the judge. Classes back at session at Covington Catholic High School after threats as the national debate continues over videos involving students and other protesters in Washington, D.C. Kenton County Commonwealth Attorney Rob Sanders says an investigation into the threats will take quite some time.
A lot of this is done with grand jury subpoenas that take weeks or months for the companies to comply with, to get the information, the records, the proof we need to go forward with charges. So this isn't something that's going to be over in the next couple days.
In other news we're following this morning, a suspected gunman in the deadly Orland Park Mall shooting is in custody. Jakar Williams was arrested last night without incident in the south suburbs. A Markham woman accused of driving drunk and causing the crash that killed a Cook County Sheriff's deputy. Police say Montserrat Perez had a blood alcohol level more than 3 times the legal limit when she slammed into a car being driven by Nick Theophanopoulos near 103rd and Kedzie. A U.S. Marine Corps recruiter is accused of sexually assaulting a local teenage recruit. Alexander Lewis was arrested Tuesday. Authorities say Lewis met the victim when she was working to enlist at the Marine Corps Recruitment Center in Waukegan. Atlanta's Hawks over the Bulls last night at the UC, 121-101. College hoops, Wisconsin topped the Fighting Illini. In the Big East, DePaul lost to number 11 Marquette. In the Valley, Missouri State hammered Loyola. The news, a service of Accountemps when you could use help closing your books and need additional staff. It's time to call Accountemps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis and fast. Call today at Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Pain drugs are addictive and have side effects. Get off the drugs, get rid of the pain. You don't need to live with chronic pain. Let's repeat, you do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, from an accident or pain that just develops. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the most respected and successful pain doctors in the world. Dr. Candido will work to find the source of your chronic pain and fix it. He teaches pain management around the world and has been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Okay, you get it. He's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido, Chicago anesthesia and pain specialist, will help you get off the pain medication and all of its side effects. You can get your life back. Drugs mask the pain, find the source, and fix it. Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain. You be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info at mypainchicago.com.
If you're not pleased with your child's progress this school year, now's the time to consider enrolling your son or daughter in St. John's Northwestern Military Academy. With an ongoing enrollment program, it's never too late. For years, St. John's Northwestern Military Academy has served young men and is now an excellent co-ed environment. Not a school for troubled kids, but one that will prepare young men and women for college by focusing on rigorous academics and leadership with a safe, secure, and structured environment free from distractions that's conducive to successful learning. St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful Lake Country region of southeast Wisconsin inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, spiritual and character development, athletics, and their military traditions. Find out more about St. John's Northwestern Military Academy ongoing enrollment. Call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
If you think all banks are the same, it's time to think about Signature Bank Chicago. I'm Pete Olson, head of commercial banking at Signature Bank, where the people who own the bank operate the bank. Not in an abstract way, but in the same hands-on, personalized way that you run your business. We don't rely on a legion of business developers to find new relationships. We don't trust an outsourced phone bank to address your customer service needs, and we don't delegate decision-making to some anonymous credit committee that you'll never meet. We do everything we can to help you succeed, because if you don't succeed, we don't succeed. Call us today to see the Signature Bank difference.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
8:37. Let's get an update on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
The outbound Edens is jammed Montrose to Willow after an earlier crash near Old Orchard. It's 40 minutes Montrose to Lake Cook, inbound 21. Kennedy, an hour and 10 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 44 minutes from Montrose, 35 on the Express. Outbound 45 to the airport. Eisenhower, an hour and 7 minutes, 390 to downtown. 48 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 41 to 390. Stevenson, an hour 20, 355 for Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 42 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 30 minutes, I-80 to the Murray, Bishop 438. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is going to be Lawrence to North Avenue. Northbound from Stevenson to Jackson and Fullerton to Belmont. Northbound Tri-State gummed up 95th to 31st, and from the Reagan all the way to the O'Hare Oasis. It's traffic. I'm Chip Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Mostly cloudy for the bulk of this day and colder, high 20. Currently partly sunny and 10. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so I've got this side hustle being a ghostwriter for people on dating apps, and it looks like I'm going to solicit Ricky Munoz to do some work for him.
Oh, that's right. Well, you know what? He's kind of busy right now. He's in and out of rehab. But yesterday, he went in and out of a courtroom. You know, he's charged with domestic violence for an alleged incident that happened on New Year's Eve. And his wife, I know that she spoke before, Dan, but she came out swinging yesterday in discussions about her husband.
Yeah, I was a good woman. I put up with his I put up with his addiction. The 4 or 5 women he's been around with simultaneously.
Oh, bitter, maybe? Bitter party for one. Your table is ready. Bitter party for one.
When he violently grabbed me and pushed me, and I hit my head on the staircase. I warned him I'd call the police. He didn't believe it, and, well, here we are.
So she, spoke with reporters. He put on headsets, Dan, and ran out of the building.
I wouldn't say that's bitter.
No,
I would say that's descriptive of the scumbag that she's married to.
Yeah, spent 35 years together, married for 30.
I hope that this rehab stint will help him. I don't think it will. He's been in rehab so many times over the years and just doesn't make it. I hope he does for the sake of himself, being able to move on.
So the case was back in court because a judge extended an order of protection, meaning Munoz must stay away from his wife and their little village home.
He's a co-founder of the Progressive Caucus.
Oh, is he there?
He's a real progressive leader in the city. Yeah.
He's having problems with a relationship with his kids.
Having a relationship with our children, which is 0 right now. Can he recover from this? I don't know, but that's not my problem anymore.
And everything, it's fine. But the last question the reporters asked her is not sitting well with me. Just take a listen.
Do I love him? Have I always loved him? Absolutely. Have I loved him through this turmoil, through his addictions, multiple addictions, through the womanizing, the cheating, everything? Like I said, I have.
Near, far, I mean, it's like the end of Titanic. That's beautiful.
This is a little cray-cray. I mean...
Who's cray-cray?
Well,
and why are you using the phrase cray-cray?
I'm sorry. I hang out with teenagers, all
Clearly.
right? Clearly.
Yeah.
But I just, 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line, 64636, type in DA. Then a quick comment. He allegedly pushed her head against the staircase New Year's Eve. She's had to deal with years of his infidelity, multiple women.
Who does he think he is, Chris Brown?
I know. I mean, but for her to say she's loved him the whole time, I just think maybe she should move on.
Well, she is moving on. She filed for divorce, didn't she?
I know, but do you still feel the love between her and the alleged abuser?
Jack!
Jay Munoz, ven aquí, por favor.
Is there something that you would like to disclose? Are you projecting onto Mrs. Munoz?
Well, I just think women, we could do better. Come on.
Better than Ricky Munoz? Really? But he's elected official.
He's a progressive.
Yeah, a progressive nonetheless.
Her girlfriends might need to take her out to lunch and talk to her a little bit about, hey, we're going to move forward now.
Hey, ladies, how those pea hats you're married to working out?
Where did we get a school recorder version of this song?
Is this on a pan flute? What version is this? Tom and Blue Island, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Dan. Good morning. Amy, good morning. So, Dan, I'm looking for a little bit of knowledge out of you here.
Yeah.
Whenever these politicians, for lack of a better term, call with their hand in a cookie jar, Preckwinkle. Yesterday I saw an interview with Mendoza about the money that she's gotten from Burke. I'm always curious why they're not able to just give the money back to where they got it from. They always choose to say they're going to donate the money to some charity of their cause. I thought, I was wondering if there's a legal reason for that. And
no, they can do either. They can do either.
They could maybe start a disgruntled caddy fund.
Disgruntled caddy fund. Yeah, well, that would be the Lord's work, Tom. Thanks for the call. To put that into a nonprofit for disgruntled caddies. I could be a beneficiary. But, yeah, I mean, they can return it to the donor or they can give it to charity. And you know what? Who really cares? Who really cares? You're going to go through the pantomime of Mendoza or Preckwinkle or whoever pretending like, oh, well, I donated the money to the Boys and Girls Club or I gave it back to Burke. So my hands are clean here. I mean, how does that absolve or change the nature of their long-standing relationship? Of course it doesn't. But they just think that, most Chicago residents are too stupid to connect dots, to think through anything. They'll just buy the image of them returning the money and wringing their hands, and Tony Preckwinkle talking about how we can prevent future Ed Burkes. Tony Preckwinkle put his kid on the payroll because they had to move him out of the sheriff's office because apparently, allegedly, he couldn't keep his hands to himself. But she gave the money back, so everything's all right. She thinks she can get away with it, and you know what? She's probably right.
Well, she has been up until now, because the big tuna, I should say, got caught, and she's connected to him.
And who
not
is,
only for
and
the
who
$10,000, but for another $116,000.
And who isn't?
Gary Chico is Susana Mendoza.
It's all a matter of degree, not kind. Jim in South Elgin.
Hey, guys, this is only serving to make Willie Wilson look better because he's clean of all this garbage, besides the fact he wants to reopen Meigs Airport, which I think is a very good thing to strive for.
All right, thanks for the call, Jim. Yeah, Willie will be at that forum on Saturday that I'm moderating.
Yeah, so where are we going? What time?
St. Monica's on the northwest side at 2:30. 2:30.
2:30? Is that after I go to the Jewels? or before?
Well, it's your choice. We got your Willie Wilson. We got your LaShawn Ford. We got your Paul Vallis. We got your Bob Fioretti. We got your John Kozel. We got your Jerry Joyce.
Oh, Jerry Joyce is going good.
So we're getting near to half the field there.
And where's is McCarthy? He has a prior engagement, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
What about Bill
We
Daley?
We
and Tony
invited everybody.
Preckwinkle, Susana Mendoza.
Oh, sure, it would be a robust conversation.
She was in D.C., by the way, having a fundraiser with Danny Solis' sister. I mean, this is all
right. And Danny Solis' sister was Hillary
Okay.
Clinton campaign manager.
Right. And Danny Solis has been wearing a wire for 2 years, taping his conversations with Ed Burke.
Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama. Hilda is her name, right? Hilda
Yeah.
Solis? Yeah, she's involved in both Clinton and Obama campaigns.
Yeah, she had a fundraiser for Susanna.
Yeah.
Who's not ready for prime time. Sorry, sister.
But I am, and I wanted to transition. I'll see if I take on Ricky Munoz as a client. You'll never know because I'm a ghostwriter. But you can probably tell by the quality of his rhetoric on the dating apps, ladies. So.
How does he get the ladies? It's so gross.
I
mean,
don't
really?
I don't want to think about that. Meredith Golden, which is my pen name, keeps 2 lists of guys you absolutely should not date. There's her creep list, which names a few dozen men who've said something racist, made a joke about pedophilia. It's always a nice icebreaker. Or otherwise acted inexcusably on a date. She also has the we don't date them list.
Oh.
They're not horrible, but they're definitely undateable, like one who, she said, without explanation or warning, started flossing at the table during a first date.
Well, sometimes you got to get it out. If it's stuck in between your teeth, it hurts.
Maybe that was you she was referring to.
Sometimes I floss. Is that rude? I didn't know that was.
4 years as a dating app ghostwriter.
Yeah.
For $2,000 a month,
Ooh.
she swipes, chats, and charms impersonating her clients. Once she's earned a client to date, she tags them in, becomes a more traditional dating coach, reviewing each encounter in detailed postmortems, helping to guide their next moves. I mean, this is like the job that was made for me.
Oh, I know.
She, Miss Golden, says tone is essential. She learns to imitate their conversational styles through the use of an 8-page intake form that includes specific questions. How do you take your coffee? Black and bitter like my heart.
Oh.
Have you ever swam with dolphins or stingrays or enormous turtles?
All 3. Check, check, and check.
Yeah. Oh, but I swim with the fishes. Yeah. So this is a cottage industry. So if you start seeing like Ricky Munoz online, communicating in prose, if Ricky Munoz asks you out on a date and says that his love is like a red, red rose that's freshly sprung in June, his love is like a melody that's sweetly sung in tune. If you hear that, if you see that from Ricky Munoz, you could maybe know Dan Proft dating client.
That's what we should do.
This is going to be fun.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's been perfect for me for the last couple of years. I just did it for health. I'm not one of these people that have some kind of, issue or anything. I'm in good health and happy and can't complain. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's an easy-to-follow system. Just take the fruits with breakfast and the veggies with lunch, and away I go. So it's easy to do. It's much, much better than the old vitamins that I used to take. It does everything I need to do. I've stayed healthy. I haven't had a cold in 2 years, so I'm doing good.
Use discount code CHICAGO for 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies with free shipping. This offer is going to end between now and February, so act fast. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Come on, kids. We're late.
Honey, the car won't start.
Mom, the dog just sat on my science project.
Life can be stressful, but getting life insurance shouldn't be. That's why there's Ethos. Ethos is a modern kind of life insurance that's super fast, incredibly affordable, and very uncomplicated. At GetEthos.com, there are no medical exams for policies covering under $1 million, no hours of paperwork or meetings with pushy representatives. It only takes 10 minutes to apply, And you can rest assured knowing you've taken steps to protect your family. And in most cases, with Ethos, you can have that peace of mind for less than a cup of coffee a day with no hidden fees. Having life insurance can free you from stress. Getting life insurance shouldn't cause it. Discover how uncomplicated life insurance can be at Ethos. Get your free instant quote and submit your complete application in minutes. Just go to getethos.com. That's ETHOS. Getethos.com. Getethos.com.
Here's a great way to start a new year with a MyPillow 4-pack offer. 2 premium MyPillows, 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, plus free shipping, all for the normal price of just 1 premium MyPillow. As you've been hearing me tell you for years, they are the best pillows money can buy. I cannot go to sleep without my pillow. You'll feel better. You'll sleep better. Life will be great. And it's washable and dryable and has a money-back guarantee if you're not happy. And here's more good news. You can still get 30% off everything else, including the MyPillow mattress topper and those pet beds. Be sure to use the promo code Amy when you go to checkout after you go to MyPillow.com. They also have sheets, pillowcases. Look at it all. MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
For more than 50 years, Mueller CPA, a certified public accounting and business advisory firm, has been serving clients in Chicagoland. Dave Nissen, Mueller's managing partner, is here to explain Mueller CPA's history, journey, and opportunity.
Thanks, Dan. Our firm was started by Al Mueller as a one-person CPA firm in 1968. Through growth and partnerships, Mueller CPA has blossomed from a regional firm to an organization that provides services worldwide. Mueller is a reflection of our years of listening and caring for our clients, and we would not be here today if it wasn't for our professionals and support personnel. We value the human side of our business and recognize it as being the most important element of our success. We are growing, we are hiring, and we welcome your interest in our firm.
If you are looking for your first opportunity or your forever career, join an award-winning team that cares about you. Visit the career page at MuellerCPA.com or call Dave directly at 630-524-5274.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and you'll have to wait until spring to get the outside of your house painted, but winter, perfect opportunity to get your interior painted. You know, people walk into my kitchen and ask, Amy, did you get new cabinets? No, I save myself thousands of dollars by simply having them painted by the experts at CertaPro Painters. So cross the first project off your 2019 to-do list. CertaPro Painters will ensure a beautiful transformation of your home. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered. In-home with a color consultation or online with their color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his 2 business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Bastuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
If you're not pleased with your child's progress this school year, now's the time to consider enrolling your son or daughter in St. John's Northwestern Military Academy. With an ongoing enrollment program, it's never too late. For years, St. John's Northwestern Military Academy has served young men and is now an excellent co-ed environment. Not a school for troubled kids, but one that will prepare young men and women for college by focusing on rigorous academics and leadership with a safe, secure, and structured environment free from distractions that's conducive to successful learning. St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful Lake Country region of southeast Wisconsin inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, spiritual, and character development, athletics, and their military traditions. Find out more about St. John's Northwestern Military Academy ongoing enrollment. Call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at the forecast. It's going to be 5 degrees. Next week, we're going to be in the single digits, 2 degrees as a high. So you're going to want to escape the cold and the snow in Chicago and join us where it's warm and sunny in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. That's where we'll be heading with Apple Vacations, and you are invited to come along with us. Do you have this in front of you? The information? Okay, well.
No, but I know. I've heard about the trip.
Yeah, because you're going. It's April 6th through the 13th, and we'll be staying at the Marival Residence Luxury Resort in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. You have to say it with the accent because I can't say Nuevo. You have to Nuevo Vallarta.
Oh, yeah, I got to roll the R's.
Yeah, it's an all-inclusive resort. It's beautiful. Every room has a sitting room area, living room, kitchen, and a balcony. 6 beautiful restaurants, 24-hour room service, 2 bars, and Dan, just for you, 9 golf courses nearby.
We're going to play every one of them.
Yep. You can also snorkel, play tennis, or head to the spa. Get more information and book your trip by visiting 560theanswer.com/passport. Every year, this trip gets better and better. And, you know, we have couples that return every single year to vacation with us, so you should join us this year. And the price that Apple Vacations has secured for this trip is incredible and exclusive to us, but it's only available for a limited time. Don't miss out. Sign up today. Give it as a Valentine's Day gift to your loved one. Enjoy a week with us in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico, April 6th through the 13th. Visit 560theanswer.com/passport. That's 560theanswer.com/passport.
And if you see that popping up on dating apps that you're frequenting, then you know that's also a Dan Proft client.
That's right. Dan Proft dating tips. Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick, Quinn MacArthur. We're back here bright and early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now, here is Mike Scott.
Dangerously cold weather hitting Chicagoland tonight. Bulls lose to the Hawks. WIND Chicago News Time is 9 o'clock.
Good luck, sir. I'm Dave Anthony.